This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Super J-Cast. I'm Joel Abraham, joined by Damon McDonald. How are you, Damon?
We are well. We are well underway of the tag tournament, which has been pretty good so far. Can't complain about that. But we'll find more things to complain about, because that's what we do here, Joe. We complain. But here's the thing. While we will do our darndest to keep it positive and keep a happy spin on things, look, I can't lie. I am just a voice, and you are just a voice, Joel, of the discontent of many a New Japan fan right now. They're not a happy bunch. But let's do our best to keep at least a positive spin as much as we can, minus Lanny Poffo and Kenny Omega.
Well, I'll tell you who is happy, and that's one Hiromu Takahashi, because I did a bit of research and found that the happy day that he was referring to, that we mentioned last week, was actually his 29th birthday, which will be coming up on December the 4th. So what would you buy Hiromu Takahashi for his birthday?
Wow. Probably drugs, because he looks like a guy that would do a lot of drugs. Just kidding, of course. I'm just kidding.
I think fried chicken would be a good safe bet, wouldn't it?
I mean, how could you go wrong? I would love some fried chicken. I would give him a case of Strong Zero, and I would give him a probably a new pair of Vans. He looks like a kind of guy that would dig a new pair of Vans, the sneakers, that is. So I would go that route. New pair of Vans and a case of Strong Zero, and I think he'd be very happy with that result.
I think he might like a photograph of Scampy, or maybe a video of Scampy, because he likes cats, doesn't he? So I reckon Hiromu and Scampy would get on pretty well together.
Wow, that's a good. Yeah, I think honestly, double teaming on that one. I think we'd make him a very happy birthday. I know there's lots of Hiromu fans that are probably doing some kind of art or kind of fan fiction or something. But yes, I think the birthday would be, I think it'd be a good one if we took care of that. That'd be good.
All right, well, let's get stuck into business then. First thing up is, in our news roundup, I saw a tweet from Mr. Lariato, who of course does a lot of the animated GIF files for wrestling, who said he's been told that the problem was the number of GIFs posted and finishes being given away to matches. Keep it to 3 to 4 GIFs per match, no finishes, and link back to NJPW World, and there shouldn't be any further trouble. Now, I did a bit of further digging, and I found out that, this was in a newspaper article in the Mainichi, the Agency for Cultural Affairs is set to ban so-called leech sites that lead internet users to websites offering bootleg materials such as manga and movies, and punish their operators with prison terms. So it sounds to me like the whole country is going to be cracking down on pirated material. And I noticed NJPW also went after Showbuckle, who has put up some excellent videos recapping the feuds and the stories of New Japan, and I know it helped a lot of new fans, myself included, get into the product. And that's kind of sad to see, because obviously this is a guy who they should be hiring, not persecuting and getting their stuff pulled off the internet. So I was wondering if maybe that had something to do with this Agency for Cultural Affairs directive, or possibly even TV Asahi telling New Japan to get that kind of stuff off the internet. But what do you make of all this copyright business going on?
Well, one, again, my biggest thing was, and I said it last week, was that, hey, nobody's giving away finishes, and if you're doing that, then you're a knucklehead, right? But here's the thing, the big giffers, if that's a thing, are people that kind of know those unwritten rules, right? They kind of do what you outlined, right? So it's not necessarily the Lariatos of the world, or, Showbuckles of the world. It's the dope who thinks he's going to start his own little account, and if they're giving away finishes and putting up 72 gifts of one match, then that's a challenge, and they got to learn the rules. But here's the thing: the internet is a wonderful place in that it is a bit of a self-policing place when it comes to that. So again, I can't imagine that being a huge problem. The second point is this, and I was talking to someone earlier this week who has inroads to New Japan. We'll just leave it at that for right now. And talks to a lot of the brass in New Japan Pro Wrestling. A very interesting conversation that I had. And one of the things that I made sure that I made clear is that, understand that New Japan is popular because of these people and because of people like them. And not to pat ourselves on the back, but people like us. Like, we are the ones. We are the ones that, again, the product helps, right? Having a good product but the product has been around for years, and it's that word of mouth, and it's that internet buzz, and it's people seeing the names Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kenny Omega and Hiroki Goto, and just names on their timeline that they check it out. They got to remember that. They got to remember that the reason why they're in the position that they are right now, and the reason that a lot of these people have jobs right now, is because of that. It's because of that buzz that people like a Showbuckle, and a people like Lariato, and a people like the Super J-Cast, and a people like Voices of the Wrestling. It's that, and the founders of the Reddit, groups, and Squared Circle. It's that helped bring the fandom to the level that it's at. So again, I understand TV rights. I understand when you get suits involved. I understand when you get money involved. That's fine. I understand, but let's be realistic. So I'm glad that they came to their senses. And again, the Giffers need to follow the rules that have kind of always been in place for that community. So well done. Keep it up. Good. We want to continue to keep that buzz going. Great job.
Okay, I've got a question that I would like to deal with next, sticking with the topic of creating a buzz on the internet. And it's a question from our good friend Andrew Rich.
Kenny's done a thing.
So Andrew's question is, for all his talk of positivity, Kenny spends too much time responding to negative trolly tweets, which makes him seem as childish as the trolls. Given he's their top champion, do you think NJPW management will talk to Kenny about this? So a bit of backstory for people who haven't been following this, who are people who are not as extremely online as the rest of us. So we got a nice little story on one of these undercards, which we'll touch on later, about Okada saving Tanahashi from the Bullet Club. And Kenny Omega said that story is something for 5-year-olds. And then he deleted that tweet afterwards. Someone criticised him for not appearing on the Power Struggle tour. They called him a noodly-haired fuck, to give the exact quote. And Kenny Omega then said, "I'll leave the bad shows for all of the other dudes who had no other talent but wrestling. In the meantime, I have the crews and countless other media to help increase brand awareness. You and all of your NJPW favourites can thank me for their steady paycheck." Now, personally, Damon, I don't care that he isn't working this tour. I've got no desire to see Kenny Omega working in a 10-man undercard tag match. Like, if he wants to take this tour off, whatever, fill your boots. But personally, I don't think it's a particularly good idea to be burying the company and his colleagues like this. So, it's like calling it the bad shows, leaving the bad shows for all the other dudes. That's crossing the line for me. Then he went and basically called someone's dad a paedophile. And it just seems that each time he goes a little bit off the deep end, seems like the pressure, the criticism's getting to him. And I don't know how much of this is him working as a heel and how much of it is him genuinely getting upset with people. I'm thinking of it in terms of building excitement for a match. Is this helping build the Tanahashi match at Wrestle Kingdom? Because I ran a little Twitter poll and I asked our followers what they thought. Like, who do they want to win at Wrestle Kingdom 13 in the midst of all this stuff going down? And 51% said they want Tanahashi to win, 40% said Kenny, and 9% said don't care. And I suspect that had we run that poll 6 months ago, we might have got a very different answer. But anyway, that's just me guessing at the moment. But personally, I certainly want to see Tanahashi win. You could call me a big mark for that, but I think throwing insults at people on Twitter is small time, isn't it? It's unworthy of the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, and no one's seeing this stuff apart from a tiny, tiny online minority, like people like us. So to say that, you know, he's quote unquote he's working, that doesn't wash with me. Like, maybe he is working, but it's still bad. It's still stupid. Like, working's not an excuse for that. And I was talking about this on the Voices of Wrestling Slack with John Carroll. John agreed that heel heat was probably the intended reaction here, but their reaction's more like, I hope Tanahashi beats him so he can go to WWE so I never have to watch or think about him again.
Right.
So for a lot of people, this is starting to veer into X-Pac heat, is go-away heat, isn't it?
Here's the thing: when people start telling me about what is heat and what is he's work, the bottom line is that if in fact that is his mindset, working and getting heat and getting all that, that's to draw money. How is any of that you just talked about helping him draw money? You're right. It's to an audience that is so small, right? And again, he's talking about he's going to raise brand awareness on a cruise full of people in Bullet Club T-shirts. I mean, it's a giant circle jerk at that point, right? How is that growing a brand? How is it? Literally is a nice vacation. It really is. Okay, great. He's got to wrestle what was it, a 6-man tag in this thing? But he's lounging in a beautiful cabin. Did you happen to see Rey Mysterio's cabin on this thing?
No, I didn't.
Okay, go out of your way to search that on the Twitter machine. I'm sure it's somewhere. This thing is palatial. Rey Mysterio's cabin on this cruise, it has a piano, right? Why? Why would he need a piano, of all people? Watch him be just like a virtuoso, just like Beethoven.
Okay, I found it. Rey Mysterio shows off his sick cabin on Chris Jericho cruise.
Sick. Yeah, take a look at it. I'll give you a moment. I'll ramble. I'll give you a moment to.
He's got a jacuzzi, a minibar, flat screen TV, and a baby grand piano, just to name a few things. Wow.
In a suite, on a cruise. This is not like on a land hotel. This is on a moving
living
ship.
room, bedroom, dining room, and private deck, which is all fully furnished.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So again, it's a nice little vacation. I'm sure Kenny's got something just as nice, right? I'm sure he's got something just as nice. I doubt he's in a twin bed, a hole in the wall, the size of a closet. I doubt that's the case. My point being is this. Again, this does nothing. Is any of that doing anything to help the business itself, to help his match with Tanahashi? I don't see it at all. So then the other side of the coin is, okay, then he's doing it because he's, he's a little sensitive, it feels like, maybe, possibly, right? That this is stuff that's gotten under his skin. Twitter people have finally gotten under his skin and picked, and he lashed out. And it does seem small time to me in that sense for, a company's champion to do that. Now, again, I made an argument privately that said, athletes really don't do that. You know what I mean? Like legitimate real-time athletes don't get on Twitter and start chirping with fans. And then people sent me examples of athletes doing that. Okay, then I'm wrong on that. Then maybe they do. But to me, it does seem just very small time, very petty. If he's trying to get heat, it's to a small audience that's already a fan. They're not going to... It's just silly. I'm telling you, Joel, there is nothing worse than a pro wrestler on fucking Twitter. There is nothing worse. It's just... what does it do?
Zack
Nobody's
Sabre Jr.'s
buying
all right.
a ticket because of what somebody said on Twitter. What's that?
Zack Sabre Jr.'s Twitter is pretty good.
I guess. I mean, I don't follow him, so I don't really know. But I guess. But I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's just like, why do you have it? Aside from, I'm going to be in Boston, Iowa, Sacramento, London, and then Paris. There's nothing. And here's a link to my Pro Wrestling Tees shop. Aside from that, Joel, anything else is like feuds, like people, like wrestlers who get on there and start feuds on Twitter. Ugh. Who gives a fuck? It stinks. And then then you get nitwits tweeting at them and tagging them for every fucking thing on earth. I hate the people who just tag away at people. They'll tag everybody, every little just to get a mention. Jesus Christ. I hate Twitter so much. It stinks. Yeesh. All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, honestly, Damon, I'm so sick of discussing this. I get scared every time I see Kenny start tweeting. And he's just, for me personally, he's moved firmly into log off and get in the bin territory. He should hand over his Twitter account to someone else who can filter all these things. The rants thing obviously still bothers him, so he should just stop engaging with it. It's a no-win situation. He's got to be above that. Just mute them or block them and get on with your life, Kenny. Rise above it. It's not going to be seen by most people, and it means nothing in the grand scheme of things, but it just makes him look stupid. And like you say, we've got this tiny minority of Twitter users. They know exactly how to push his buttons and get a rise out of him, and him lashing out is giving them exactly what they want. And we got some interesting tweets here from our listener at The Subtle Doctor, who said, Damon on the Super J Cast made an excellent observation recently. What does Kenny Omega's change the world mantra actually mean? Throw wrestlers and promotions under the bus, defend the title against his friends, bicker with fans on Twitter. It seemed like it was supposed to be more than wrestle real good. It was a claim of positivity, but he's just bringing so much negative energy to so many interactions. I think this is a huge disconnect and where a lot of fans are losing the Kenny Omega character. So that's a brilliant tweet. It sums up pretty much everything that I'm feeling about this. And it was interesting that tweet was actually retweeted by Tamatonga, who's promoting us whilst also actively blocking us on Twitter. So that was brilliant. I laughed so much when I saw that.
Oh, see, it is fucking hilarious. Again, how much time have we spent on this? Like 20 minutes on Twitter nonsense. But you have to because it's so in your face. It's everywhere. But doesn't it just seem ridiculous that 20 minutes of fucking talking about people on Twitter? And here's the thing, we're not the only ones, so let's not just don't talk about it. Well, okay, get up the street. Everybody talks about it. You can't ignore it. But it seems like fucking madness to me. Just delete the fucking... It's not... Here's the thing, Joel. I mean, every once in a while, I'll log in, and here's the good thing, too. Because we're so far apart geographically, that Twitter gets all crazy when I start to log in, and it always asks me for that goofy phone number that you have, right? And I never remember it.
I need to give a shout out to Sipsy, my friend from the Smartcast. So that's his phone number because I can do it with mine. And every single time you lock us out, I have to send him a message helping us get back in. So if you're listening, Sipsy, thank you.
Right. Thanks, Sips. It's a pain in the ass, so I don't even fucking do it anymore because it's just like it's not worth the hassle. Because why? I'm going to get in there and I'm going to see some good stuff, and then I'm going to get because again I'm going in there to see good stuff, right? That's why I'm going in. Like I'm not adding anything, I'm not tweeting anything, barely. I'll tweet some fucking nonsense about buy a T-shirt and renew your Brazzers account, but that's about it. I'm going in there to hopefully see something positive because maybe a fucking, some shit's happening in my life, and I'm just like, can somebody tell me that I'm nice and worth this world? And I look and I'm like, okay, great. But that's the only reason I'm going in. But then you always get the fucking, the fucking knobs, why don't you fucking shut up? So I don't go in. I know my strengths and weaknesses. I know my faults. I can't handle Twitter. I can't handle Twitter. I can't do it. So just be a fucking realistic person, know yourself, and get the fuck off of it. I said the same thing. Elgin, the same guy. Fucking, I'm like, you get the fuck off Twitter, you numbskull. Okay, I am. He gets off Twitter. 2 seconds later, he's on fucking Twitter again. Okay, whatever. Do whatever you got to do. I don't care. Fuck. Get off of Twitter. Juice Robinson is the smartest fucking guy. Smartest fucking guy. Got rid of it. Why would you want people to know where the fuck you are? I'm in it. Like regular people. Wrestlers, they got to promote where they're going to be. But it's like, I'm at a fucking ball. Who cares? I'm watching a football game. Who fucking cares? Stupid. I love people not knowing where I'm at. I fucking love it. Love it. Oh, where were you at? I don't know. None of your fucking business. What do you think of that? Thank you. All right, I'm done.
I'm applauding. This is what the people are tuned in to listen to, Damon. But, like, here's the thing now. I saw one conversation on Twitter. Well, I should probably get off Twitter, but it's at GrizzExploder said, I honestly do not know how I was cheering for him to take the title from Okada at Dominion. And then at George W. Bushi, which is a Twitter handle that made me laugh, said, I was there in person and the moment has been retroactively ruined by how awful this reign and his persona since has been. Now, I won't go that far myself, but I do kind of feel that way now, that I think back to my nice memories of my trip to Osaka and being there and cheering for him and him being one of my favourite wrestlers then. And I can't really consolidate that with all this shit that he's doing at the moment. But some people have accused us of not having perspective. So I'm going to read something that Nicole from our Discords, who manages our Discord, wrote, just to give a bit of balance here. Tell me what you think of it. So I'll read this. If the stories are true about the Bucks and Cody being down with Jericho's start-up promotion, but Kenny's still undecided playing into all this, the Elite and Ibushi stood there after All In and said whatever they're doing together. Then a couple of months later, the Bucks and Cody looking at something Kenny's not fully on board with, allegedly. I think we can all agree this run with the belt has probably not lived up to whatever dreams or worst nightmares Kenny had. Less than 24 hours after winning at Dominion, he's getting called a racist after he cuts a poorly worded promo, and it's all been downhill from there. His reign is shaping up to go down in history as a lacklustre one at best. His fellow Musketeers may be going down a route he doesn't want to follow. People shit on the show he promoted, and NJPW is fucking around with the one thing that brings a true smile to his face in the form of working with Ibushi. And now he sees Tanahashi getting, in my opinion, the more interesting story with Okada, even though it's he and Tanahashi main eventing the Dome. I'm not saying he's completely blameless, but I'll also say I wouldn't be shocked if this is his way of crying out into the void his frustration over the last 4 months since Dominion. For months he's been using post-match press conferences and speeches to go from passive-aggressive to not so passively expressing his opinion on the way things are headed. No one in his estimation has clearly been listening. As a New Japan fan, I want him to stay, as I think the in-ring product only benefits with his presence. As a Kenny fan, based on what we see and my interpretations, I want him to leave for Impact, where I think he'd be currently infinitely happier, because I don't think it's a coincidence that the official Impact Twitter shared Don turning on Kenny, or that Don tweeted about making Ibushi a star. So taking all those things into account, Damon, does it give you a bit more sympathy? Does it change things for you at all?
Yes, but I think it is something that we have said in the past. It is he has his ideas of what he wants, right? And again, every champion kind of has that in his pocket. That's the luxury afforded to that person, where they can somewhat, not every champion, but champions where they're really going to hang their hat on the guy, they do have that luxury. And now, again, it can be a situation where that she described in the sense that he is frustrated and he is challenged by the fact that he's not getting what he wants. Now, on the flip side of that, it's okay. You don't always get what you want; you get what you need, right? You can't dictate who every fucking challenger is and who you want to wrestle and who. Okay, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes the business is going to ask you to do things that maybe you don't necessarily want to do. Again, all speculation at this point, though. It is all speculation. No one knows what Cody's going to do. Again, could it be his own promotion? Should be. Could be. I mean, he successful first All In is any proof. I would want to bank on him running another one and maybe another one and having his own promotion. That might be the thing that he wants to do. Bucks, nobody knows, all right? But it wouldn't surprise me to have them show up at NXT. I mean, figuring every single one of their friends and peers seems to be on that NXT roster at this point. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Now, again, they have a lot of financial freedom to be able to dictate their schedule and their hot topic, and I'm sure that's all in negotiation. Kenny, look, to me, waiting another 3 years might not be the best thing to do. I don't think in 3 years he's going to be hotter in New Japan than he would be, just going now. He's not going to be any hotter. He's not going to get a better deal than what he will be offered now. Impact, I don't think, is a player in this. I mean, if you're at a Kenny Omega level right now, there is a certain dollar sign that needs to be on a contract, and I don't think Impact can make that happen. Don Callis aside, right? Look, if anything, Kenny Omega is very polarizing for everything that goes on outside of the ring, right? Inside of the ring, I think the majority of people who watch this product would give him a strong thumbs up, right? A strong thumbs up. And I think the minority would give him at least, at minimum, a half-hearted thumbs up, right? You may not like the facial expressions, you may not like the selling, you may not, but you got to admit the guy is he is good. He is really good. And when he wants to put on a great match, he absolutely fucking can. Not a good match, a great match, right? It's the outside the ring stuff that rubs people the wrong fucking way. But that's always been Kenny Omega. That has not changed since day fucking one. And I got to be honest with you. I got to give him some credit. And I'm going to say a dreaded word here. I'm going to say a dreaded word. But, you know what? I'm not even going to fucking do it because I just don't want the fucking headache. I'm not even going to make that comparison. You got to give Kenny Omega fucking credit because at least, whether you agree with him or you don't agree with him, and agree with his vision of pro wrestling or don't, he's got the balls to do what he wants to do, how he wants to do it. He sees his character as this, and that's the way he delivers it, and good on him. Is it always for me? No. Does it always hit the mark? No. But in the ring, I can't not give it to him. He's still one of my favorites in the ring. It's the outside the ring stuff that I could just hand wave. And if he would just take that to you know what? I was going to say if he could take that to a minimum, I would like him more. But who the fuck gives a, who cares about me? If he's happy doing what he's going to do, he's going to do what he's going to do. And I got to give him at least credit for being that kind of a guy.
Kenny, if you're listening, get in touch with me. I'll manage your Twitter account. I think I'm quite good at it. So you'll be in safe hands. Give me a call.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, that's why one of the first conversations we ever had, Joel, revolved around the social media and me saying, it's all on you. Just understand that, right? Right? I was like, I don't do it because I know my shortcomings. Just it's okay to delete the Twitter. It's perfectly fucking okay to delete the Twitter. All right, are we done with the Twitter?
Yeah, let's move on to this Road to Power Struggle tour and delve into some of the issues going on in the undercard. And first match started with a side headlock, but in my day, that was called a side chancery. So we've got a question here. I'm sorry to set it up like this, Damon, because we're going to go from one rant into another, but this is what the people want to hear. So Ben asked... No, okay, let's come at this from a different angle. Ben says, keeping things positive, because we're all about positivity here on the Super J Cast. JR's not looking so bad, right? Just a question for when there's a lull in the action.
All right, let's fucking get into it. You, like all of our listeners, we were all somewhat in shock at the idea and the notion that, one, Kevin Kelly was not going to be on these shows. And again, for whatever reason, maybe he had personal things, maybe he had... I did not ask. I did not reach out to Kevin for this. But for whatever reason, management, whether it be Michael Craven, whether it be Harold, whoever it is, decided that we needed to have another set of English play-by-play and color commentary.
Can I just pause here and interject, Damon? Sorry.
Yep.
That no one else was talking about this apart from us. Everyone else either missed this or dismissed it as a joke.
Oh, really?
And I swear, we're the only podcast that I've been listening to that actually picked this up and discussed it in the fair and reasonable manner that we do. And now it's obviously blown up, but you heard it here first. And now I'm going to hand back over to you.
All right. Yeah, exactly. As you normally do. Again, I've said this before on previous shows that I might not be able to say everything that I get communicated to, right? But there are things that I will say throughout a show that will that read between the lines, people. I'm giving it to you. I can't just throw a hanging curveball over the plate. I gotta mix in my pitches here. Right. So here we go. So nobody thought this day would happen, let alone the individuals that they handpicked and hand selected for this. Now I will say this. Who's our color? Or who's our play-by-play guy?
His name is Mavs Gillis, apparently sports reporter
Mavs,
in Canada that graduated from college in 2014.
All right, well, good for him. I understand he does a little minor hockey, right? Does a little minor hockey, the Quebec Juniors, if I'm not mistaken. I'm very familiar. Now, listen, I talk to professional athletes, right? I don't talk to the juniors. I talk to the pros. NHL locker room. You saw the picture, right? You know who I'm talking to.
You are big time, Damon.
Listen, if anybody wants to talk to anybody in sports, you talk to me, right? Because I'm at the games. Eagles, Flyers. I had New York Islanders I'm talking to. I'm all over. I'm not, I appreciate the fact that he's in the minors. I'm in the major leagues. NHL. 20 years. Okay, so I know how to handle myself in a locker room. FYI, New Japan. Just FYI. Okay, so I thought Mavs did a very good job. A very good job. All things considered. One, he's apparently a fan of the product, right? He watches. I don't know how long. I don't know if he's going back watching, Tatsumi Fujinami matches. Who knows? But I kind of did take a look at his timeline a little bit, and he's tweeted New Japan stuff in the past, and he's a fan, and he's been involved in the indie scene in Canada. So again, he has that. So and apparently New Japan only hires Canadians at this point. All right, next is the fact that again he did a solid job for his first time, right? Again. That booth, he had nobody to lean on. He had to drive the ship, and he had to drive the boat. And I thought he did a very good job. I know people were comparing him to Joey Styles, former ECW commentator.
He reminded me a bit of John Anik. I don't know if you ever heard John Anik on UFC broadcasts, but he had a similar sort of cadence and style to him.
Yeah. Again, I think he did. The biggest criticism that I think people had, and I kind of had the same thing, but I think again, nerves, time difference, right? Keep in mind, let's not hand wave the jet lag. You're flying over there. You got maybe one day to get your body acclimated, and then boom, you're asked to do the English commentary on a show that he knows thousands of people are listening to. And will listen to because it's a new voice, and they want it. Everybody's going to have their say. So I'm sure nerves, I'm sure jet lag, I'm sure whatever. But his pace, like everything was important, and everything was super impactful, and everything was, and we got to ramp to that, right? Because when the super important things do happen, we want to make them special, right? And not necessarily waste that energy on stuff that might not be as important. Again, that's a pacing thing that he'll get more comfortable with and more accustomed to. So, scale of 1 to 10, truth be told, I'm going to give him a 7 or an 8. I thought he did it. I thought he did a really good job first time out, and that's a good solid base to start with to then move forward, right? And build off of. Now, I don't know how that mix is going to be, right? Because Kevin Kelly's not going anywhere, right? He's as a matter of fact, he's doing these shows coming up, finals and all that. So I don't know how they're going to work him in and out. And right now we got more English commentators than we know what to do with at this point. I mean, it's unbelievable how many English voices we now have for one fucking wrestling product. Okay, but that's neither here nor there. Let's go to Chris Charlton, another positive, Joel, right? Chris, friend of the show, listener of the show. We are appearing on his Egg Shells podcast. We're both very excited to be doing that, and recorded that, and I thought it went smashingly. And Joel said the same, and lots of people listen to that Eggshells. Lots of people get his Eggshells book. What a wonderful resource! And he again it adds in a history and a knowledge, and he knows when to pick his spots. And I was even telling him that before, that's hard in the 3-man booth to kind of pick your spots and know when to get in, know when to get out, and not when to overstay your welcome. Great job. And he's getting even more comfortable, right? So he's able to bring in a little bit of his sarcastic humor, right? He's able to do a little bit of that. So I think, again, only, and of course the translations, just a positive to any broadcast that he brings. So a double thumbs up from Damon to Chris on that. An excellent job as always, and I hope to hear him more and more and more. Listen, get rid of that fucking teaching gig and get on the road with New Japan. Come on. You can teach any time, Chris. You can teach teaching will always be there, right, Joel? You know that, right? Teaching will always be there. He can fall back on that. Boom. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Get full time. Sign the paper. Do it. All right. Which leads me to last but not least, Joel. One leaping Lanny Poffo, the host of our favorite
I'm laughing
podcast.
already. You haven't even started.
Our favorite podcast, The Genius Cast, Joel. The Genius Cast, where I'm sure he shares tales of the road and all kinds of clever anecdotes about life in the Memphis area, right? I'm sure he was involved with the Poffos, right, in the feud with the Jarretts. Had to be some great stories that we haven't heard 700 times. The life on the road with Randy Savage, his brother, right? And throwing frisbees, the poet laureate of the World Wrestling Federation. Let me tell you something. I am just flabbergasted at the fact that an airline ticket, meals, a hotel room, whatever it was spent for that experiment. Now, people have said, it's an experiment, and we're gonna test the waters and see how that. Okay, sometimes experiments are based off of some type of scientific fact that might want to lead you to another fact, right? So, an experiment is based off of at least something to hang your hat on to lead you to a new conclusion. Am I wrong in that, or are experiments just throw fucking something up in the air and hope it sticks? Okay.
You want to be taking calculated risks, not just risks. There's got to be something to, stick your hat to if you're going to throw the dice like that. Yeah. So now we have, and again, people brought to my attention, Joel, that, and I'm sure this went, because I forgot all about it, that Lanny did in fact do some WWF syndicated television color commentating for like a cup of coffee, for like literally I couldn't even been more than 3 months because I completely forgot about it. But apparently that was the case, that he did do some stuff for WWF. But okay. I'm sure people weren't ringing his door, knocking on his door, or sending a text beforehand and then knocking on his door to bring him in. Joel, it wasn't even horrible. Here's what it was. It was, why the fuck is this happening, is what it was. Look, he added 0. Why? Because he had nothing to give, right? How could you expect someone to give something when they have nothing to give? There was nothing of any substance. There was there wasn't even anything bad that he said. He just said the most mundane, safe, dry as toast. I'm looking at the fucking TV. I can see that Ibushi is fast. I can see ACH is athletic. These are the comments that I'm getting. Like 0 was brought. I learned that he was thrilled to be there.
many times that he was thrilled to be there. And I'm sure he was. I mean, it sounded like this was his first time in Japan, right? I would be thrilled too. I remember my first time. A thrilling experience. Invigorating. Life-changing. He added nothing to this broadcast. Now I ask New Japan, and I ask my loyal listeners to the Super J Cast, and I ask you, Joel, what the fuck was the point of that?
Do I have to answer that question?
Yes. Because I don't have an answer.
I was scratching my head. My only guess was that he was a big name, and that's it. I can't think of anything else.
Joe, I could name. I could name a lot of people that would be a better fit than that, and would make even a little bit of sense. Again, you're going to bring somebody over, and their job is to add color, right, to a broadcast. Okay, so that would be somebody who might have some history, or might have some knowledge of that history. Well, Chris Charlton checks that box perfectly, right? Does Lanny Poffo check that box? Has he had an extensive tour with New Japan? Can he provide some clever stories about life in Japan on the road? Can he provide any interesting facts of, I've wrestled this guy, and here's where he is good, and here's his strengths, and here's his weaknesses? Again, we list all the people that kind of check. Josh Barnett could check those boxes. Steve Corino could check those boxes, right? The guy, this is his first time in fucking Japan. Brian Mackey could be a better color commentator. He could share stories of his time in fucking Japan. Right? He's been there once. One more time than Lanny Poffo. Right? Right? I mean, come on. Look, the only possible thing I can think of what the fuck happened is, and again, this is nothing against Lanny Poffo, the gentleman, right? Because I'm sure he is a nice guy. He seems like a real pleasant guy and a nice guy. This is not what this podcast is about, though. This is about critiquing and talking about the product that we're getting in front of us, right? So, sorry. What was the purpose of this? What could he bring to the... This was Lanny Poffo being a gentleman and a nice guy to New Japan people, New Japan influencers, right? To say, wow, this guy might be really good in this role. But again, when we already have this role by 7 other people, but okay, put Rocky Romero in there. Right? I don't understand. It was, and it's not my money. It's not my money. It's not like it came out of my pocket. But why the fuck would you spend the money on this? It makes no sense to me. That's really the bottom line. It just makes no sense to me.
My only guess, he was at All In, wasn't he? Maybe this is someone repaying a favour.
Yeah. I mean, what did he do? Did he buy him a beer?
Was he with Cody's lot? Is that it? Is he in with those guys? Is that how he's managed to get his shot? Because they're trying to keep them.
That's
sweet?
what I'm guessing. Yeah, truth be told, that's the only logical thing is that he look, to me, him being brought in All In, right, was kind of like a nostalgic rib. You know, like we got Lanny Pop. It's kind of like Joey Janela when he brings in, crazy fucking, high school dream matchup things for him. You know what I mean? Bringing in guys like Onita, or bringing in guys like who did he have on the last show? Like when he wrestled Ellsworth, or so, it's just shit like that, right? Those kind of, he brought in, who else did he bring in? I forget who else he brought in. But he does that. He does that a lot. He brings in like guys that he's looked up to and watched on tapes and shit. And that's the only thing that I felt like Lanny Poffo was there. Maybe, it was just like, a nostalgic pop rib kind of thing. And then he wooed and made friends and got, he seems like a very personable guy. Seems like a very charming gentleman, and got his way in there. It's the only thing I can think of. Listen, that's one hell of a fucking charmer. I've been doing this podcast for 3 fucking years. I ain't got shit like that, Joel. Apparently, I'm a shitty, charming person because I have not had. Listen, actually, you know what? I take that back. Truth be told, I got a wonderful offer that I had to turn down, unfortunately. So I can't say that. So maybe I am charming.
And I got a sweet Zack Sabre Jr. t-shirt, so we can't complain.
Yeah, you know what? Good point. Listen, this whole rant is just me being jealous. Let's just be honest here. This is all this is. This is just me feeling like I put in a lot of work. I don't want New Japan recognize us and send us. Send us. Oh, listen, Madison Square Garden's right around the corner. I'm sure we'll find a way to make it. And listen, I got Tama Tonga, mentioning me in tweets. So I don't know. Look, I just don't understand what the purpose of this is and why it's continuing. Will it get better? I don't fucking know. Because he added nothing. There was nothing there to judge on except the fact that he's saying the safest, driest, most non-opinionated thoughts, things that if anybody's watching the broadcast, they can see with their own eyes. And the people watching that broadcast are watching it. They already know the information that he's giving. It's just, it's just one of those head scratching moments, Joel, that has me a little frustrated, probably more than it should. But Lanny Poffo, everyone, Lanny Poffo. It
was funny bad. I'll say that much, right? Like Poffo, he was obviously there to be like Jerry Lawler, make the dad jokes. The first night, Gillis just didn't set him up for any of it. They didn't have any chemistry at all. And I think Gillis, he sounded like he was scared to actually ask Lanny questions because he knew Lanny didn't know anything about the product. And then Lanny would just interject with like literally one word, just switchblade. And there were a couple of times where Gillis tried to set him up. He asked him like, "Oh, what do they have to do to keep this man down?" And then Poffo just goes, "Where is Kanemaru?" So even when Gillis was trying to feed him in, he wasn't biting at all. And, making Bushwhackers references. We're about 2 minutes into the first broadcast before he goes, "Well, in my day." Just the comments were so innate. I actually found it quite entertaining. Like when he's playing Whack-A-Mole. That's another game. It's very fun. He absolutely loved Rocky Romero. I don't know if it was Rocky that helped him get that gig. That could be another guess because how hard he was putting in Rocky over. ACH is almost as agile as Rocky Romero. Rocky Romero wouldn't have run out of gas. And then he just resorted to spouting out his life achievements. Like, I main evented Madison Square Garden twice. I beat Hulk Hogan in 1989. I fought Tiger Mask once in 1982. Not sure if it was that Tiger Mask, though. And I saw a funny tweet from...
Is that what he said? I didn't even hear that one. Wait a minute. He said that? Wait. He said... Wait, time out. What the fuck? What did he say?
I fought Tiger Mask once in 1982. Not sure if it was that Tiger Mask, though.
Is he out of his fucking skull? Oh, my goodness gracious.
Chris was very patient with him and explained all the different Tiger Masks and what was going on. To me, it was kind of like you're sitting there in your living room watching New Japan, and then, like, your uncle walks past who's got no knowledge of it, and he sticks his head around the door. It's like, "Oh, what are you watching?" And then he comes to sit down with you and watch it totally unsolicited and just starts making random comments about it. That was the quality of the broadcasting. Or another funny one I saw from Insider who tweeted this. He literally sounded like a commentator from a bad 90s wrestling video game where he just insert the wrestler's name into a generic statement. Ryusuke Taguchi is now entering the ring. ACH is a talented athlete. Kota Ibushi is very quick. But he made me laugh. Exactly, I've got to say, I kind of enjoyed it just for how shit it was. Like, the one little joke he made that did make me laugh. He said, "Did you know Sho and Yo rhyme?" And I laughed. Oh. And he also set up the best joke, actually, over the 2 nights was when he said something to Chris Charlton, "Do you know the patella?" And then Chris Charlton goes, "No, but I know Nutella."
Did you hear that?
Yeah, so I've discussed this with other people. I'm Mike Spears. Now, I'm Mike Spears. We need to give him a shout out because he is the person who came up with a gentleman's three. Everyone's doing the gentleman's three now, and that was I'm Mike Spears at Fuji Hedge. You can give him a follow on Twitter. So, innovator. So he said that as someone who's done some sports play-by-play in colour, you got to feed if you're the play-by-play, and the colour guy needs to have their spots decided. So obviously this just wasn't happening. It's like spectacularly bad having two rookies in there without a more experienced guy to keep things steady. And the second night it was a bit better. Chris Charlton worked hard to bring Poffo into the discussion. Like, he was asking good questions, like how does Tsuji's gridiron background help in wrestling and things like that. And there was just some weird stuff as well. Like, there was a political reference as well. Chris Charlton said something like, don't bring a knife to a gunfight. And then Lanny Poffo made some comment about Obama, and that was just cringing at that point. So you know, we've speculated why it was there. I've got a question. I think you know what the answer is. Pro Wrestling View says, does Poffo deserve another chance, but with Kevin Kelly maybe setting him up better?
No.
Do you think he'll get another chance?
I'm sorry.
Or do you think that's it?
Yes. No, I think he will. Here's you nailed it in the sense of, you know, Mavs was setting. Mavs is a professional broadcaster, right? He might not know the ins and outs of New Japan Pro Wrestling history, and he might not be a voice that you are familiar with, and he might not be comfortable in the surroundings of Cork and Hall yet. I don't have a problem with Matt. I thought he did a good job. I said again, you know, for again him sitting there for the first time, good job. And I would have no problem him being like the you know, I don't want to say the B team, but you know, on the bigger broadcast that Kevin Kelly can't make, I would have no problem him sitting in. I would have no problem. And he set up, just like you said, he set him up like with softballs, with again, it's hard. First of all, he didn't wrestle fucking Tiger Mask in 1982. Because here's the thing. In 1982, Tiger Mask was doing tours of WWF, right? Eddie Gilbert wrestled at the Spectrum. Dynamite Kid, of course, the infamous Madison Square Garden match. I'm really racking my brain to think Lanny Poffo in 1982 was in, you know, doing the fucking shit, you know, in Tennessee. If anything, I'd be. And again, I'm not looking it up right now, but I don't know. Sayama wrestled Lanny Poffo where? Maybe California. Maybe that happened. But I'm really struggling to figure where Sayama wrestled Poffo as Tiger Mask. So I'm questioning that one. I'm just gonna put. I'm not saying it didn't happen. Questioning it. My point being is this: Mav set up Poffo many times, and he swung and missed many times. Can that chemistry be built? Yes. But again, my fucking question is why? Why him? There's a million people you could pick from. Here's my biggest, aside from the fact that I have yet to get a plane ticket from New Japan. That's that aside. We're going to put that aside. My real beef with this is that if we're going to do that, what other harebrained ideas do people have that are not getting nixed and not getting, whoa, what are we doing now?
You want to hear one?
Like, that's what has me yeah, okay. Yeah, let's hear one.
This is a tweet from a friend of the show, Mark Wozeka. NJPW booth has recently included myself, Kevin Kelly, JR, Don Callis, Rocky Romero, Chris Charlton, Maz Gillis, Trent Beretta, Chucky T, Lanny Poffo, and I feel one thing is clear: we should all throw on a headset at NJPW World to call Wrestle Kingdom New Japan Rumble together.
I mean, but here's the thing: they could, right? They could each take one person entering the ring. That's madness to me. Why do we need all these people? That's just what I don't understand. I hear everybody. All right, let me ask you this: Why wouldn't Mark get the phone call? I thought Mark did a great job, right? Maybe pump the brakes. Maybe not a great job, but he did a really good job, right? Being the color guy to Kevin Kelly. I thought he did a good job, right?
Definitely better than what we heard recently.
Right. So why not? I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know what his schedule is, and I don't know what that looks like. But I 1,000% would rather have that than what we had this week.
And again, I'll say this in defence of Mark. At least you can tell he's a fan of the product, and that I think is what really grates for a lot of fans, myself included. When you hear someone like Lanny Poffo or JR who don't know or care about the product, it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful that they pay for these people to come out who can't even be bothered to do the most basic of research to find out who the characters are, what the stories are, what the moves are called. They don't care. And again, I find that insulting as a listener.
Again, I agree. And there's a big difference between when you're getting a paycheck, there is a certain level of that. It is disrespectful. I hate to say it. Imagine me. Imagine Arsenal, Joel, calling me and saying, "Hey, listen, not for nothing, I'm a big fan of this Super J-Cast. I don't really know anything about this fucking pro wrestling nonsense, but man, you are entertaining and funny, and man, you just I love the way you just kind of go off on shit. And listen, we're gonna fly you out to London, and why don't you join our broadcast crew, and you can provide color commentating on the game against Tottenham, right? How about another? How about Chelsea, right? Listen, yeah, you could. Or how about Man City, because you like Oasis and they like Oasis, so we'll bring you in, and then every 5 minutes you can mention Noel and Liam Gallagher, right, on the broadcast, because that's the only thing you fucking know about it. Right, we'll fly. Wouldn't you, as an Arsenal fan, be like, "What in the blue fuck is this American jerk off dork doing?" And what is Arsenal doing?
Well, I think a key point here, if hypothetically you got that offer, you'd be giving me a call and saying, "Joel, help me out here. I don't know anything about this. Be my spotter. Give me some tips. Give me some insight. Let me know what the stories are. Who are the key players here?"
No, I'm here. Know what I'm doing? I'm going to go right to Trafalgar Square. I'm going to get a selfie. I'm in London, and then I'm going to go get some fish and chips and drink at a pub, right? And then I'm going to show up at the fucking what is it? Emirates Stadium?
Yeah,
Emirates?
man, you're nailing it.
Right?
You know way more about English football than Lanny Poffo does about New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Right? You know what I mean? We'll go there. And we'll talk about the pitch, right? Because that's what Americans like to talk. That's what we like to do. We like to call it the pitch and mention the pitch every 5 seconds. The pitch, right? We could do that, and then I can say, that guy's he's pretty athletic, and look at the athleticism on number 12. He headed the ball. That must hurt. Right? I'm pretty good, right? Pretty good so far, huh? Hey, we call it soccer here in America. Isn't that weird? You guys call it football, but we have the real
It's
football.
funny when you do it, though.
Right? Pretty good, right? Huh? Pretty good. Hey, some might say, hey, that's a great Oasis song, some might say. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, elbow in the ribs. Hey, everybody. Wackadoo, wackadoo.
Right, I'm going to tweet Sky Sports right now, because we've got to make this happen. If New Japan won't do it, then Sky Sports will.
Yeah. Hey, here's Wonderwall, everyone. I'll just sing along. It'd be great. I got this one nailed. Why do they tie? How boring. Play. They should just play. Wait a minute. The clock's counting down? This is oh no, it counts up, doesn't it? It counts up. Yeah, it counts up. You start at 0 and you count up, right? See, that would be the entertaining banter I would have with the people at the booth. I'd be like, "Hey, wait a minute, the clock's messed up," and they'd be like, "No, Damon, it's that's weird because in the real football it counts down." Oh, silly American.
So,
pretty good.
So we're reaching the hour mark. Kenny Omega tick, Lanny Poffo tick.
Yeah, we're done. All right. I feel good. I feel better actually. I feel like I got out of my system. This does nothing for our chances, though, to get hired by New Japan. Just this is really really counterproductive. But oh well.
Yeah, well, we call it like it is. Nothing if not honest.
Yeah.
And cathartic.
A little bit, but a little bit of both. A little bit of both. All right, let's move on. What else we got?
All right, so let's actually discuss some of the wrestling in this New Japan Pro Wrestling company. So we had some decent Young Lions matches opening up these shows. We had Ren Narita doing the most awesome belly-to-belly bridging suplex I've ever seen. And also I found it notable that Shota Umino got a win in a match that also featured Yoshida and Hinare. So I thought that was definitely something worth noting. And their little feud is continuing, Umino and Yoshida. So I'm sure destined for big things in the future. I also think these Bullet Club versus Chaos tags have been really good. There has been great heat for Rocky Romero. He came across like an absolute babyface star on the Saturday show. I don't know if this is just me. I'd quite like to see a 5-on-5 elimination tag match. I think that would be a nice way to start to blow this off. And Tama Tonga doing a Superman punch, little tribute to Roman Reigns, who, of course, we wish all the best. Big fan of Roman Reigns over here.
Yeah.
I was plugging the possibility of him having a match with Tetsuya Naito. That's my dream match. John Carroll came up with it, but I'm flying the flag for it. I still want to see it. And, of course, we got, at the end of this, the handshake with the eternal rivals, Kazuchika Okada and Hiroshi Tanahashi, shaking hands after Tanahashi came to save Okada at the end of the match. It was an amazing moment. The crowd absolutely loved it. And there was a great interview afterwards with Tanahashi saying that pro wrestling is not only about betrayal. He also made a reference to the video game Splatoon, which was funny. So where do you think this could be leading?
You know what? I don't know. But for all of my ranting and raving about where, the stuff outside of the ring, it's those moments that make us fans of this product. I mean, look, we know that rivalry is one of the greatest in pro wrestling history. For a lot of people, it is the greatest. When you compare the storyline, the match quality that you got, the big main events that you saw that in. And again, it wasn't beat you over the head with a hammer. It wasn't anything more than a handshake. Yet, it was so impactful, and it was so dramatic, and it was so important. Right? And we know that it doesn't just get left at that, right? We know, knowing what New Japan does and the way that they love a slow burn, it is, just when you think that story is over and it can't get any, there's nothing more we can do with it, aside from, hey, superstar and new age superstar battling out to see who's the best. Now we have a new added wrinkle and a new added element to something that is, again, already one of the greatest stories in the history of pro wrestling. It's simple. It's dramatic in its simplicity is what makes it so great. Again, nothing beat over the head, and we know other promotions that can do that and are not so subtle about it, but it was. Again, I'm not saying that it's going to turn into Tanahashi having a new faction and Okada's in it or anything along those lines. Truth be told, I don't know, and there is a lot of speculation. But just the fact that not even a little seed, this is a big zygote thing that has been put in the ground. That is, it does lead to new and interesting possibilities that make it fun. Just. Again, all that negativity, unfortunately, that we talked about before and all those question marks and all that, what the fuck are you doing? At the core of everything that we follow in this fandom are moments like that and little nuggets like that. So good on them. I like where that's going. I love the idea, the possibility of having them together in some kind of cohesion. Fighting off the evils that is Jay White and Chaos and whatever and Bullet Club and or whatever that looks like. I like that. I like this and where it's going.
For what it's worth, in the backstage interviews, Okada said that his partner will still be Yoshihashi. So squashing any potential rumours of him and Tanahashi teaming up. And now, I thought it was interesting as well that Beretta expressed some concern backstage, again, in these post-match interviews, which are always worth checking out. So he was concerned about the Okada-Tanahashi alliance. So I'd speculated in previous shows that he might move to the Bullet Club, and this could be a possible motive for his defection if he thinks Okada's getting too chummy with Tanahashi. So, again, just a little seed there. And, of course, with all the commentary problems, they missed the Roppongi Vice reunion with Rocky and Beretta teaming up there in one of those tag matches. Beretta was a really, really hot babyface there, so I actually think it would be a mistake to get him to join the Bullet Club, because I think he's got a lot of potential as a singles babyface star. But there you go. And it was good to see Okada finally getting his hands on Gedo after everything that's happened. Damien, I don't know if you watched all the backstage promos, but you've probably seen enough of them to tell me what are your thoughts on Jay White as a promo, because I was discussing this with WH Park, and I think, and he agrees.
No,
with
your
my
new best friend,
WH
Park,
who I'm going to Wrestle Kingdom with, and you're not going, so I'll probably get him to replace you on the podcast. So just
I'll be. Don't worry. I'll be working for Arsenal. Don't worry about it. I'll be. You'll hear me. Bigger and better things, my friend. Bigger and better things.
What do you think about Jay White's promos and the yelling in particular? Because he seems to shout in all his backstage promos, and it seems a bit one note to me. Or am I just being fussy?
Now that you mentioned it, I won't be able to not hear it. It doesn't bother me as much. I truth be told, it didn't really resonate with me in the sense of it is that same tone of screaming, but now you mention it, it is there. I don't know. I'll have to listen a little bit deeper to that and see if there's a pattern to that. Again, one of my biggest challenges has been the development of the character work of Jay White, and I know people are want to give him a pass when it comes to that. In the fact that it is young, but we're coming up on a year, or probably over a year at this point, right? It's how long do you take? How long does that take? I'll listen a little bit deeper for it, but it doesn't bother me right now. I have to give an honest answer for
I think he's doing fine. I think he's still a decent promo, and he's young, and he will improve, but again, I think something like, as was mentioned in that conversation, someone like Jake Roberts, the sort of quiet, low-key psychopath, rather than the "I'm gonna get you," blah, 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 that kind of psychopath, might do wonders for Jay White. We also saw build-up for Tomohiro Ishii against Minoru Suzuki, and uploaded to NJPW World was their recent Global Wars match, which you both had a chance to watch. What did you think of it?
I heard people raving and saying that it was one of the best matches they've ever seen live, and I thought it was good, but I don't think it was blow away great. I think it was now I'm saying this with the standard is very high, right? So let's keep that in mind. But I felt like I don't want to say a cookie-cutter Ishii-Suzuki match, but a little bit it did. And it felt like I was seeing, here's your elbows, strike exchange spot, and here's your kick out a big move spot. It felt a little bit like that. It didn't have the dramatic elements that I am usually accustomed to. It felt a little bit, and again, it is a very high paint by numbers, but it felt a little bit paint by numbers to me. How about you?
Yeah, I felt the same. I mean, we've seen much better matches from both people this year, so obviously you can't slaughter them for, quote unquote, taking it easy in a match like this, but I think they definitely were leaning very heavily on the crowd brawling and the chair spots and the referee shenanigans and the trading the forearms and the slaps and all that stuff. And there was very little actual wrestling to sink your teeth into.
Yeah, they did, like I said, the brawling in the crowd, the strike exchange, and again, that's an Ishii match, right? I mean, we know that we see that a lot with, especially in Ishii and Suzuki. Again, it felt like maybe a level down than maybe a Japanese main event, right? Maybe not. And again, I'm saying that knowing full well that's still a great match, But I just think it was like a notch below what might be I don't want to say a main event at a Japanese show. I hate to say it, but here's the thing: Rev Pro. They are the fans of that promotion. They are some lucky sons of bitches. Because again, if you're looking at the Ring of Honor relationship compared to the Rev Pro relationship, to me, I think it's a night and day kind of thing. You know, look at that Ring of Honor tour with New Japan. It's the same. It's Los Ingobernables, Kushida, and I'm sure Liger will show up too. And those aren't bad wrestlers, don't get me wrong, but you're not getting a wide variety. You're not getting a Suzuki versus Ishii match, or what did I see earlier? Kojima against
Walter.
Who was it? Right. I mean, while it's not Kojima of 10 years ago, still, and that's a fresh matchup in my mind, in my eyes. I would kill for that. Rev Pro is getting a solid end of the deal. I don't know why it's such a struggle. I don't know. Now there have been whispers to me, and again, that whisper doesn't necessarily mean it is truthful, right? But I'm going to share it with you that could be, I don't want to say politicking, but it could be, right? That's involved there. You look at those Ring of Honor shows, it's those usual black T-shirt pro wrestlers coming out, right? Just saying. It does seem weird that Ring of Honor doesn't get nearly half as good a lineup as the Rev Pro. And again, it might be money, it might be this, it might be that. But I had heard some whispers. So, take it for what it's worth.
I will say as well, for as far as Rev Pro are concerned, that Rev Pro British Heavyweight Championship, I think, is one of the more well-booked heavyweight titles. And just in terms of the number of people who've won it. So it was created and debuted in September of 2012. And they've only had 8 champions over that period of time. So we've had Ishii, Suzuki, Shibata, Sha Samuels, AJ Styles, Colt Cabana, Marty Scott, and Zack Sabre Jr. So for a company that's not the biggest in the world, for them to have that amount of patience and long-term thought and booking behind their heavyweight title is quite refreshing.
I'd love to, and again, maybe I just have to reach out to our fans out there in England. I wonder why Progress. I mean, I'm sure having a WWE affiliation doesn't hurt, but Progress seems to be a little bit more buzzy than the Rev Pro. I wonder why that is. I wonder what the feeling is there of Progress versus Rev Pro. I wonder if there's a lot of crossover. I wonder if there's a lot of people who maybe I got to listen to that Brit Roundtable on the Voices of Wrestling podcasting network. Maybe they'll dig a little deeper into why Progress seems to be getting a little bit more buzz than the Rev Pro, because the Rev Pro to me, for a New Japan fan, it's really a nice fit. They really get some nice matches there. I wonder that relationship.
Yeah, I don't want to step on their toes. I'm sure that's a conversation that they would probably be better informed about than me. But it just seemed to me that Progress is like the sort of was the counterculture, like the sort of the punk rock wrestling choice. But now they're sort of co-opted by WWE, so I'm not sure how true that is anymore. But anyway, that's my 2 pence worth. Next story from the undercard is this Taichi Ospreay Goto situation. So Will Ospreay's injured. He will not be able to make it to the show. So we had an angle to deal with this, and very big Let's Go Taichi chants from Korakuen. There were a lot of people cheering for Taichi. So Taichi ran a Twitter poll. So Goto asked for a title shot. Taichi said no. Then Taichi ran a Twitter poll, and the choices of the Twitter poll were Goto, anyone but Goto, wait for Display to come back, and he might have meant Ospreay, or number 4, just get rid of the belt. So in the end, we have a Goto versus Taichi rematch added to Power Struggle, which is, of course, Cartwheel Deathmatch 2.
Oh, no. Oh. All right. So you challenging me to another Cartwheel Deathmatch. Is that what this is?
Are you man enough to accept the challenge?
Oh. Oh, fuck. Whew, shit. This one has me worried, actually. Oh, boy. All right. I got to get a fucking set, right? Time to put on big boy pants, right? Time to fucking man up. I've been challenged. Yes, I accept the Cartwheel Deathmatch challenge.
And you might hear that someone is very excited about that possibility.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, Scampy with the appropriate meow at the right spot. Yeah, let's do it. But here's the thing. I will admit that this one has me frightened because I think that given the stakes that are at hand, I think Taichi is the one that's going to have a lot to prove and wants to prove. I am not excited to see Goto in this match. It is everything that I did not want to see. I would have voted anyone but Goto. And it is disappointing that Will is still banged up that he can't make this. So, fuck. All right, I'll do it. Let's do it. We're going to do the Cartwheel Deathmatch. Actually, this would be 3 because we did have an impromptu Jim Ross one. So this will be Cartwheel Deathmatch 3, but really 2. Let's be honest. But okay, let's do it. Exciting times here on the JCast. Cartwheel Deathmatch 2. I know they were in a pickle. There's nobody else that could have challenged Taichi. I'm rooting for Taichi, by the way. I've never rooted for him in anything in my life, but I am all team Taichi on this match. I want him to pin Goto clean in the middle of the fucking ring. That's what I want.
Yeah, me too, because Goto, he's just stuck in never openweight title hell, and I want him to get out of that. So, also, I was a bit disappointed when they announced this, because I was worried that they were trying to get the belt off Taichi, because when that match was cancelled, I thought, great. 1, we're getting a Taichi title match at Wrestle Kingdom, and 2, that obviously means we're getting a Taichi entrance at Wrestle Kingdom, and I was hoping that the musicians who perform his excellent music pageant, I don't know how to pronounce it, because I'm not even going to try, but I really...
Come on, Lanny Poffo, let's go.
Okay, let me give you the spelling of this group, and maybe you can help me out with this.
All right, let me get a pen. All right, let me see. I got to get something right with. Hold on. Pen. All right, let's... all right, go ahead.
Okay, this is 3 words. First word is M-O-I.
M-O-I. I'm going to go with moi.
I was going to go moi. I thought it might be them going with the French style. Okay, so already we're dissenting here. Right. Second word, D-I-X.
Dicks. Moi dicks. Right?
Okay.
Makes sense to me so far.
The third, I've lost count. The third word is M-O-I-S.
M-O-I-S. Moi. This is definitely for... No, isn't that the plural of... So it means more dicks more. No. No, I don't know what that means.
Go on, give me your pronunciation then.
Moi.
Is it moi dicks mois?
I'm going to go moi. Moi. Yep, the Philadelphia in me. It's moi dicks mois. Yep, moi dicks mois. I'm going with that. What do you... Moi? Well, isn't like Grand Prix? Like, is it like... Would it be...
You're regurgitating Lanny Poffo here. That was his line on the broadcast about Grand Prix meaning big prize in French.
Ah, see, I could slide right into that booth too.
Okay,
I'm like a broadcasting superstar tonight. I'm working for Arsenal. I'm going to slide right in there with my Grand Prix. My brother always used to say there was a Atari video
Grand
game,
Prix
called Grand. Yeah, he would always say Grand Prix, and I'd be like, "It's not Grand Prix, you stupid. It's Grand Prix. You fuck." All right.
Okay, I think it's French. I'm going to go with the elegant French pronunciation. Moi dis moi. That's going to be my guess.
There you go.
But I quite like moi
listen,
dix mois. That's more fun.
Yeah. By the way, that's our new T-shirt. By the way.
What does that mean in French?
Moi dix
Moi,
moi.
that's me. Dix is 10. Moi, is that months? Is it me 10 months? How's your French?
Yeah. Shit. My actually, my Spanish was worse. So when I was in like 7th grade, my Spanish teacher gave me a B. Like, so you have your levels: A, B.
Oh,
C,
not like a
B,
bumblebee.
B,
I thought it was like, here, have this, Damon. Bzzz.
Oh no, letter. Yeah, right. No, it was a letter grade. I had a C. I had an average. But she gave me the points to get a B. Literally gave it to me if I promised not to take Spanish too. Right. So next year I was French 1 and I stunk there too. But here's the thing: my French teacher, he was just like a nut. He was just like a real loose cannon. So the trick was when he would just ramble into class, but the bell would ring, he would just be like all stammered, like all flustered and everything. And then you would be like, "Oh, I won't name his name. I'll just be like, Mr. C. Mr. C, did you see something on the news about blah blah blah?" And then he would just go off on a rant, and it would be great for an hour. He would just go off on a rant. And then we would just be like, "Oh, bell rings, class is over," and it was the easiest trick.
Bit like our podcast. Then.
It is. It really is. This is where I got it from my French 1 class. All right, so good. So moi dix moi. All right.
Yeah, so we might get to see Moi Dix Moi performing live at the Tokyo Dome if Taichi wins. So again, I'm done with the whole Goto never openweight title matches. I want something different, but I'm kind of worried that they're going to try and take the belt off him. I was thinking possible directions for Wrestle Kingdom, maybe Goto against Ibushi, but yeah, come on, Taichi. I can't believe it's got to the point where Damon is cheering for Taichi. You've been hanging out with me too long.
Here's the thing: I'm not even wavering on that. Like, I am 100% rooting for Taichi to not only win. I don't want to like a little sneaky fucking. I want hit a move, whatever it may be, clean in the fucking middle. That is what I am all in on. Call John Carroll, get him on board. Call the troops, call the Taichi Twitter troops, because Damon's on board. Damon is on board.
Brilliant. My work here is done. I can quit the podcast now. All right, so let's actually talk about the Super Junior Tag League. And recent results mean that Suzuki-gun and LIJ are both on 10 points. Roppongi 3K have got a match coming up on Thursday against Kushida and Chris Sabin, and if they win that, it will be a 3-way tie, with each team having the tiebreaker over another. So there'll be like a rock, paper, scissors scenario. Now, I think that's what they're going to go with. I think we're getting a 3-way at Power Struggle, and this 3-way, this LIJ, Suzuki-gun, Roppongi 3K, is a 3-way that we've had twice before already. At Sakura Genesis and the anniversary show, which was all the same people involved except Hiromu instead of Shingo. So that's my fear. We're going triple threat crazy in New Japan. Do you think the same, that we're going to get a triple threat, or do you think Roppongi 3K lose and are out of the title picture and we get an LIJ against Suzuki-gun straight tag match final at Power Struggle?
Yeah, I'm going to say somebody causes the upset. I'm going to go Roppongi lose, cause an upset, and we'll see a singles match. I hope we don't do a fucking 3-way. I mean, look, 3-ways are bad enough when it's just single. When you get tags involved, again, you're just cramming 8 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. There's no. I mean. I'd rather, and here's the thing: I want Roppongi 3K to do well in this, right? Because we're trying to heat them up a little bit, but like I don't, not at the expense of just having a regular singles match. But so I'm gonna hold out hope and say we're not going to go 3-way. We're going to go single Bullet Club, LIJ final, and we can go from there.
Okay, and Suzuki-gun LIJ final, right? And then
Suzuki,
and then you're saying Shingo and Bushi win and then challenge again. So that would mean we get 3 LIJ versus Suzuki-gun junior tag matches within a very short space of time.
It does. It would. All right, you're talking me out of it. Yeah, I'm going to stick with it. Yeah, I'm going to stick with it. I mean, why not? It's the fucking...
So Roppongi 3K have nothing
guy
for Wrestle Kingdom then? Or nothing significant?
I mean...
Because to me, they seem like stars. They are main eventing these Korakuen shows. The crowd love them. They're getting a lot of shine, whereas earlier in the year they didn't. This seems like a good time to heat them back up. Do you really think that they would just say, okay, you could sit this show out, lads?
Well, here's the thing. I think it's pigeonholed, because Kushida took a fall to Ishimori, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I think you would think that the normal progression, and again, it's already November here, kids. We don't have that much time left. They could stick in a Ishimori Kushida title defense. Yes, they could. But
right, stick it in where?
I mean, somewhere in between now and
okay.
Dome,
maybe
right?
like World Tag
maybe
League final or something like that.
Exactly, right. It could happen. Can't say it won't, but I would say the odds are that it would be at the Dome, right? So if that's the case, if they do hold that off till the Dome, Ishimori has something to do. Kushida has something to do. What do we do? What are we doing with Shingo and Bushi? Or are we doing another never 6-man title match?
Yeah, maybe you give Evil a singles match, and then you have Sanada, Bushi, Shingo in the never title match. But then that means you've got to take those never 6-man title belts off of Ishimori and GOD, because they presumably won't be dropping the heavyweight tag titles, and you got to have your 6-man gauntlet match, because that's an easy way to get a lot of bodies on the show.
Right. I mean, that's Fale spot. That's the GOD spot. Which leads me more to believe. So we got to get the never 6-man titles off of
GOD and Ishimori.
GOD, right, before the Dome, if Ishimori is defending or is challenging for the junior title.
Yeah, because also
right?
then GOD would have to defend the heavyweight tag titles, because presumably they're not going to have another title defense in between now and the Dome. And they're not going to have 2 matches at Wrestle Kingdom.
Right. So I'm going to say it's a safe guess that there's going to be a defense of those 6-man titles before the Dome to get those titles off of them, right? Because then that frees up GOD to defend the tag titles, right? Because they are the tag champions, remember. And Ishimori to challenge for the junior heavyweight title, right? And then LIJ, I wouldn't be surprised if LIJ finds a way to win those titles. So it would be Sanada, Evil, and Shingo defending those never 6-man titles against somebody. Does it make sense?
Right. And then what is your junior heavyweight tag match for Wrestle Kingdom?
I mean, I guess we're doing a 3-way with Roppongi coming up on top, right?
So what? Roppongi 3K against Kanemaru and Desperado against whom? I
mean, do you think we're doing a 3-way at the Dome, or we're doing a?
No, I think we're getting the 3-way at Power Struggle, and I think Roppongi 3K win the 3-way at Power Struggle, and then we get Roppongi 3K against Kanemaru and Desperado opening match at the Dome. Yeah, and then finally Roppongi 3K get their win.
That's correct. That is it. That is it.
We did it, everyone. We solved it.
We did it. Yeah. So again, just to wrap that up in a bow, the Never titles have to be dropped before the Dome. I would predict it would be an LIJ. That would give them something to do. Ishimori challenges for the junior title against Kushida. That gives him something to do. Roppongi 3K, three-way schmaz power struggle, win, challenge Kanemaru and Desperado for the junior tags. Away we go.
All right. So yesterday there was a show in Koriyama, and we only got one match uploaded, single cam. We got the tag league match, Liger and Tiger losing to Desperado and Kanemaru. So that's the end of this tag league for Liger and Tiger. What did you think of their output? And would you like to give them a report card grade?
Sure. We all knew where they were going to lie. They did what was asked of them to do, right? So again, everybody might have gotten a little excited at the challenge of or the idea of them performing well, but as we've heard before, they are what they are. So with that being said, expectations might not have been super high, but I thought they did well, and I enjoyed every one of their matches. I don't think there was one where I was giving a thumbs down. So I'll go with, we're going 1 to 10, or are we doing letter grade?
You choose this time.
All right. I'll do a number because there's a wider range. So I'll give them a 6.5 for their effort, maybe even a 7 if I'm generous. So I go 6.57 for Liger and Tiger.
Now, I found a really interesting chart on Twitter by a listener of ours, I believe a Japanese listener, at Kunisaito188, who made this chart with an algorithm to calculate who's the MVP of the tournament. So the algorithm is that if you score a pin or a submission, you get 1 point. And if you're on the winning team but you didn't score the win, you get half a point. And likewise, if you take the losing pinfall, you lose 1 point. And if you're on the losing team but didn't take the losing pinfall, you lose half a point. Does that make sense?
Yes,
So,
it does. Yes, it does.
Looking at this chart so far, let's just deal with the team we're talking about at the moment. The second least valuable player in the whole Junior Tag League is Jushin Thunder Liger. He's sitting at minus 3.5 points. And Tiger Mask is sitting on minus 2 points. So are you at all surprised that Liger is the second least valuable person in the league as it stands? Or is that just a sign of where he is in the company now?
Yeah, where he is in the company. That's okay. I mean, that doesn't surprise me one bit. But I think here's the thing. Here's what it really speaks volumes. What a professional he is. You know, he doesn't give a fuck. He's going to put people over and put talent over, and he's fine with that. He's okay with that role, and good for him. No, doesn't surprise me one bit.
Okay, and let's move on to the champions, El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. And on this chart, right, the most valuable person in the entire tag league is El Desperado, who has got 4 points. He has picked up all 4 of the pins for his team, obviously with a little Suntory surprise assist from his buddy Kanemaru. And I got some good info from my friend at Ingobernables20. Ever since Desperado and Kanemaru became champions, El Desperado's picked up the win every single time they were in a match together, whether it be title match or not, whilst Kanemaru took all the losses. In their 4 title matches, Desperado has pinned Sho twice, Hiromu, and recently Tiger Mask. So, firstly, your thoughts on Desperado and Kanemaru as a team in this tournament, and about this seemingly bit of a push that El Desperado is receiving.
Yeah, I like that. That's an interesting fact. I like when people come up with these kind of things, these little tidbits. We'll call it the wrestling analytics community. I like that. So, if you look back and we talk about, that team and specifically how everybody likes to jump on how improved El Desperado is, that kind of speaks volumes to that, right? It's kind of like the proof's in the pudding, and the company kind of feels that way too. I did not recognize the fact that it was Kanemaru who takes most of all the falls, from what you're telling me, when it does occur, and they're protecting El Desperado. does that mean we'll see him in the future challenging for a title? That'd be nice. I wouldn't mind that. Interesting facts, though. And again, performing well here. And again, you knew the champions were going to do well. They can't lose, a lot. Or they started out, they struggled out. They started out struggling, but then picked up. So no, when you lay out the data like it is, it makes sense. It kind of the eye test and the data kind of speak to El Desperado and the faith that they have in him.
Yeah, I would give their team an 8 out of 10. I think because I think
8.
Yeah, I think that's too high. I've really enjoyed their output. I like them as a team. I like the fact that they are genuine heels and the fact that they cheat. And also very much enjoyed their match on Saturday against Shingo and Bushi. And we got a nice little tease. We had the mask ripping going on with Desperado and Bushi. Desperado unmasking Bushi. I thought that was really cool and possibly setting up something in the future because I know there've been talk of Dragon Lee and El Desperado maybe doing mask versus mask stuff, and it looks like maybe that's off the table for now with Dragon Lee has become a bit of a celebrity back in Mexico, but El Desperado versus Bushi, mask versus mask could be something to look forward to in the future. But those two teams had a really good match, and I think something we discussed last week, Desperado and Kanemaru have had a really good year. They've done a great job keeping stability in this junior tag title division. They've been good champions, and I think they deserve their big match at Wrestle Kingdom. Whether or not they win the match there is another matter, but I think they've earned that spot on the card.
Yeah, I think it's a big fat loss, honestly. I mean, they're one of the longest reigning champions, aren't they? I mean, they've had these junior belts what feels like quite a while, right?
Let me look it up.
All right, I'll ramble on. But I think they lose them at Wrestle Kingdom. They'll defend the titles and be unsuccessful at Wrestle Kingdom. But yeah, you're right. I think this tag team has been. Here's the thing: it's been a debilitating force for those junior belts because again, it feels like hot potato, and that's one of those belts that traditionally has been. But and again, as Joel types away,
I found it.
Checks
March
on
the 6th.
Data. Okay, so almost a year. That's a long time for the junior titles, right? Feels like that's a long time. So good for them. I think they've done well, and I would go. Am I going an 8? I'm 7, 8. I'm in that range. I mean, what's a little spot? 7, 8 range. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Good. All right.
Do you want to do a bit of IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship trivia? Who do you think is who has the longest combined days reign as champion? It's actually 2 people tied for it.
Okay. My first guess will be I'll say Apollo 55.
No.
Of Taguchi and okay.
Taguchi is 3rd and Devitt is 5th.
Okay. And we're talking the junior tag,
yes.
Right? Okay. Is it Desperado and Kanemaru?
No, Desperado is 21st and Kanemaru is 14th.
Okay. How about Takahashi and Naito?
Huh? Yeah, I just want to make sure we're clear on the question here. This is the longest combined days champion for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships.
Okay. Liger.
He's 4th.
Okay. Tiger Mask?
Tiger Mask 44th. He's right at the bottom.
Jesus Christ. Well, what the fuck? All right, you're going to have to help me with this one.
You're going to kick yourself. Gedo and Jado.
Ah, motherfucker.
960 combined days. Yeah. 4 reigns and 15 combined defenses.
Oh, all right. Well, swing and a miss from Damon on that one. I would not have guessed that. Wow, okay. interesting fact. All right, what else we got?
Okay, so today's match was Taguchi and ACH, Funky 69, losing to Bushingo, LIJ, Bushi and Shingo Takagi. So Taguchi and ACH finished on 6 points, Bushingo on 10 points. So what did you make of Super 69 in this tournament?
Good. They main evented that Cork and Hall show a few shows ago. Was that the first PAFO show? Might have been. I like that match a lot. I think, again, we've said it a trillion times, but if Taguchi gets the tap, he can go, and ACH is great. And but I think even before this was fleshed out, we kind of figured they would be in that middle of the road pack and not in the finals mix. So I would give them I give them a 7. I think that they're very good.
I'm going to give a 6 because the Taguchi comedy stuff grated on me quite a lot in this tour. But definitely that match on Friday night, the main event against Roppongi 3K was great. And that was serious Taguchi towards the end of it and winning with a Korakuen suplex hold. And it's just kind of frustrating that we don't see as much proper wrestling from him as I would like, although I do accept that a lot of people enjoy the comedy stuff.
He's got a nice gimmick, right? A gimmick in a sense of, what does he do all year, right? He comes out, does his Taguchi Japan nonsense and, his ass play and or hip attack or whatever you want to call it. He has a nice little role throughout the entire year, and then once or twice throughout the year, he gets the tap. That's probably the smartest guy in the promotion at this point. Working that, I'd sign me up, right? Seriously, at work, listen, Joel, just get the kids to laugh, make them have smile, make them have a good time. Once a year, we need you to teach them something, right? And they need to be tested on it. And you take that gig every day of the year, right?
That's pretty much what I do. Most of the time, I just show them videos of Scampi.
There you go. Where can I sign up for that gig? I need that in my life. All right.
This LIJ team, so Shingo Takagi and Bushi. Now, there's been a lot of interesting stuff. I've been listening to Joe Lanza with his Patreon-exclusive post-show podcasts, and he's mentioned about Shingo adapting to the New Japan house style very quickly. So he's established his 3 big moves. He's got his Pumping Bomber, his Noshigami, and the Last of the Dragon. And again, some really, really excellent matches. I think LIJ have probably had some of the best matches in this tournament. They had a great match against Ishimori and Eagles, and they did a really good job with that because they'd established the Ron Miller special previously. And, I'll touch on that when I talk about the other team, the Bullet Club team. But that won the match against Tiger and Liger previously, where with the 450 splash onto Liger's leg, and then the Ron Miller special, and then Liger taps out. And they did the exact same thing on Bushi, and the camera angle was great. So you thought that Bushi was going to tap out. You thought Bullet Club were going to get the win, and then Shingo just comes out of nowhere and just flattens Eagles with his little sliding lariat thing. So that was really, really cool. I enjoyed that a lot. And I thought Ishimori and Shingo had really good chemistry, so I'm excited about the possibility of them getting a singles match in the future. I've enjoyed Bushi's mask, actually. A lot of Hiromu tribute masks. He's had Kamataichi mask, he's had a time bomb mask with the timer on the top and the dynamite in the mouth. And I mentioned on Twitter, I think this is some of Bushi's best work in recent memory. I find him a lot more interesting in this tag team with Shingo than I do in his singles matches. And obviously he hasn't been given that many chances as a singles wrestler this year. But I think this tag team has rejuvenated him, and I'm enjoying their work a lot more. So I would give this team, I might give them a 9 out of 10.
I'm going 9s. And again, I think this is, when you touch on Bushi, having Shingo in there to kind of protect him a little bit, you can see Bushi doesn't have to do it all, right? Because sometimes that gets a little hairy. Sometimes that gets a little, there's plenty that can go wrong. Shingo can do that heavy lifting. And again, I'm not surprised that he's acclimated so well to the New Japan world and the New Japan style and the New Japan way of doing things. Guy's a pro. Guy's, he's not a fresh apple from the tree. He's been around a while. And even working, your All Japan, carnival, for Christ's sake. So it's not as though there's a steep learning curve for him. He would be able to pick that up rather quickly. So, again, having him in a tag to kind of protect Bushi from his flaws and his, the issues that we have with him, and he can shine and do the things that that we like about him, it makes it all the better. I'm going 9 for them as well. I've enjoyed everything that they've done. Again, I said he's a perfect fit for LIJ. It doesn't feel like it's shoehorned in, where a lot of factions feel like, oh, okay, well, they're it doesn't feel right, doesn't feel smooth. This does. I'm a little disappointed that, again, when we talk about predictions and we talk about projections toward Wrestle Kingdom, seeing him in a 6-man environment, if that's what we have projected for him, I would love to see a little bit more of a spotlight shined on him. And maybe we do. Again, maybe this is all just speculation on our part and we have it all wrong. But I would love to see him in a singles match on a big stage like the Dome. But a lot of talented people in the juniors. Everybody can't have the moment in the spotlight. But I can't wait for bigger things to happen.
Yeah, Best of Super Juniors next year is definitely a mouth-watering proposal, even at this early stage. But I do want to talk about Bushi a bit more, because he made some very interesting comments about the junior tag division back in 2016. So Bushi said, I'd really like for that junior tag division to be rebalanced and refocused on. It's all these opening matches with 3 or 4 teams, all of them foreign, and that kind of gaijin playground isn't something people can get behind. I wouldn't even say I want a Japanese partner per se, I can speak Spanish, but I want to enter that scene and make an impact. The issue I have right now is that the junior tag scene has become the bathroom break match, They're doing these phenomenal things, but it's like watching the World Cup. It's the top level of soccer. Everyone's phenomenal, great. But does everyone want to watch teams they aren't interested in? You're only going to watch if you're already a hardcore soccer fan. And if it's something New Japan are doing, it should have regular New Japan roster members in it. So this was the genesis of these stories and belief that Bushi is difficult to work with. So I was having an interesting discussion again with my friend out in Ingobernables 20, who's the premier authority on Los Ingobernables de Japón. And the gist of this is that basically back then Bushi's very critical of the foreign juniors. He says that they're the piss break match. None of the fans cared. At the same team's fighting for the belt. Some people found it boring. And this is a kayfabe interview, but said at a time when LIJ was pretty new. They were saying edgy things in a kind of work shoot style. But I wonder if the Young Bucks presumably saw this, thought it was a shoot, and I would guess that's how it got back to Meltzer. And then we get this narrative about Bushi being hard to work with and not liking foreigners. So it seems like Bushi was more critical of the booking of the junior tag division, not the actual wrestlers themselves. And now you got to say the booking of the junior tag division and just the tag division in general is considerably better over the last 2 years. They've added more Japanese guys to the mix ever since Bushi said what he had to say. So what do you make of it?
Well, one, I would agree with him, because that's been, here's me using the word that I hate, the narrative, right? We go back to when Kushida was relaunching the Super J Cup, not the Super J Cast, the Super J Cup. And he had always mentioned that the juniors were bathroom break matches, and he wants to establish the juniors and the junior scene as being just as credible as the heavyweights. And that's something that we've always said before, that, the idea of juniors and heavyweights, that line needs to blur quickly, because you're right, the talent is there, but again, the fans don't care, and if the promotion don't make the fans care, then what's it worth? Now, with that being said, the feedback that I would get from some pro wrestlers was that he was not difficult to work with, in the sense of he was just had an attitude, or he had like some negative things to say about certain aspects of the business. It was more of in ring, right? So I don't know if that is the case where, Young Bucks, heard something, and I don't know that to be true or not. The issues that people had with Bushi, from my understanding, was an in-ring issue. when we talked about difficult to work with. But and we say that in air quotes in the sense of, maybe working with other people is a little bit easier or a little bit hard. Who knows, right? But that's something that was communicated to me, and then I heard Meltzer kind of regurgitate that back as well. So from obviously maybe a different person, I don't know. Anywho, look, I think it's a good thing, and I think he has a valid point, right? Because it's something that we've said for shows. We've said the same thing, and I think it's okay for him to say something like that. That's fine. I don't think it ruffles too many feathers. I think it's having goals for. Look, he's not going to be a heavyweight anytime soon, so yeah. I mean, he wants a bigger piece of the pie, and for everybody that is a junior. So I think it's a good thing.
All right, let's go into the next team then. So this Wednesday in Nagano, we've got Volador and Soberano taking on Ishimori and Eagles. Both teams are eliminated. Volador and Soberano have got 2 points. Ishimori and Eagles have 6 points. And let's talk about this team CMLL, because I'm seeing a lot of criticism of Soberano. People saying that he's sloppy and he's not performing as well as he does in Mexico. And then countering to that, we've got a lot of angry Lucha fans who decided that to bring up Kawato, saying that, Kawato's been rubbish in CMLL, like it was some sort of defence of Soberano, which I thought was a bit strange. Like, why can you not just criticise one thing without bringing up the other thing? Like, they can both be bad. Like, that's okay. It just seemed like a weird sort of tribalistic.
But here's the thing. They're both working different styles, right? It's a completely different style. You're working a completely different side of the body. And again, good pro wrestlers are able to adapt in that environment. But again, let's not, both of those people that you mentioned, they're working completely different styles. That's hard to do. When I hate to use a baseball analogy, but imagine, being a right-handed hitter and then now being asked, okay, bat from the left side now. That's really the equivalent of what's happening here. Sloppiness, okay, but understand what's going on in that ring, though. It's not an easy thing to work one side all your life and then all of a sudden flip it and reverse it. Smack it down, flip it, rub it down.
Did you notice that? Did you think Soberano's sloppy?
No. I wouldn't say sloppy. I would just say, again, there's a big difference between, like, I'm not going to name names, but, a worker who might be, working for 6-7 years and working sloppy, as opposed to a guy who's working guys he's never really worked before, and if he does, he works them once a fucking year for maybe one time in a completely different style. I think there has to be some kind of a curve for that. Kawato, as much as everybody wants to bang on him and his time in CMLL, it's not an easy thing. It really isn't. It's not. I can't imagine it being an easy thing. And I know there's people that make that transition a little bit easier, but I can't judge Kawato with his future growth as a pro wrestler by how he performs in CMLL. I can't do that. It just because again, it's a completely different style. He's batting left-handed right now when usually he's a righty. So a little grain of salt, people. A little grain of salt.
Okay, so your thoughts overall on Team CMLL?
Lots of they've been fine. I would probably go 5, right? Nobody thought they were brought in to do anything but be a little international flavor to a tournament, and do jobs. That's what they're there to do. The matches haven't been spectacular. They've been okay. But I wouldn't go so far as to say sloppy. I think that's a stretch for me. So I'll give them a 5.
Okay, and then their opponents then coming up on Wednesday, the Bullet Club team of Taiji Ishimori and Robbie Eagles. So I've already given a bit of praise to Robbie Eagles and the way he's managed to establish his finishing move, that Rob Miller special. And another thing I've noticed about Robbie Eagles, he screams a lot. Maybe he's been hanging out with Will Ospreay too much. A lot of like, no, when he's on the ropes, and I don't know, that I found that slightly jarring. So, what do you think of? What do you think of his look? Does he look a bit shindy to you?
I like it. Shindy meaning
like kind of low budget and amateurish.
Oh, like indie, like
is that an amalgamation of shit indie? Have you heard?
Yeah, probably. I think so. Okay, there you go. Now I'm with you. No, I actually, I think they look really kind of fucking badass as a team, to be honest with you. I love Ishimori in the way that he is just so fucking compact and like almost like he's like a junior Ishii to me. He's just so fucking fire plug. No, I don't mind his look. I don't. I mean, I could see where people could think that, but I don't. I think that's a good look. I like it, and I think he's done well. I think the tag team has done well. I want to see more of him there. But here's the thing: the problem is that it feels like that junior space is a little crowded. So I don't know how soon we'll see him back. But no, I think he's done fine first tour.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. I would give them 7.5 out of 10. I've enjoyed their matches a lot. They've got good chemistry, good pace, nice moveset.
Yeah, 7. I'll go 7. Yeah.
Okay. And finally, on Thursday in Shizuoka, we will have Time Machine, Kushida, and Chris Sabin with 6 points taking on Roppongi 3K, who have 8 points. So let's talk about Time Machine. They're eliminated, and Roppongi 3K have a tiebreaker over Suzuki-gun, but not LIJ. So sticking with Time Machine, well, actually, question here from Nikki: do we all agree Kushida has to stop doing 30-second full-on armbar spots? It's terrible.
Depends on your tastes. I don't hate it. I will say this though, even though every match that I have seen has been good, did you expect a little bit more out of this team? Just it felt like they were there the entire tournament. There's nothing that really jars me and stands out for me. Anyway.
Do you think a bit of it was maybe don't let Kushida get hurt before Tokyo Dome?
Probably. But here's the thing, though. You got, this started in October. 3 months we're going to protect someone? I mean, but here's the thing. You could say the same thing about Kenny Omega at this point, right? I mean, maybe that was the thought process, possibly. I hate to have that protect guys kind of attitude, but maybe that's the case because that's what it felt like to me. It felt like that they were there and nothing really was memorable coming from that team. And I think my expectations were a little bit higher. So with that said, I'm going 6 for them.
Yeah, I'll give 6 as well. I think they worked hard to try to establish that they had chemistry together with obviously the Alex Shelley link, and they came up with some nice sort of quasi-matching ring gear and some nice tag team moves. They were safe hands, but again, nothing spectacular. There aren't really any matches that are going to live in the memory, which I think could be said about most of these matches. I think once you get to the single cam shows in the middle of nowhere, then they're all sort of round and about the gentleman's 3 range, and you can't kill them for that. You're not expecting them to go absolutely balls to the wall on a match that not a lot of people are going to see, but yeah, it is what it is. I had slightly higher expectations for this team, and actually for the tag league as a whole, which was fine. I've enjoyed the tag league, but I did expect a little bit more out of it. I thought it was a good chance for certain people to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, on paper, it does sound sexier, but again, expectations and reality are sometimes two different things. And you're right. Why is Chris Sabin going to go out there and kill himself in the middle of nowhere for a, I hate to be that guy, but that's really what we're looking at here. As this moves forward and the matches get more important, the matches obviously will be better and reach a certain level with the drama of the match and the work rate and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, again, on paper, it did seem sexier than what the results were.
Yeah, and also tag leagues are generally a bit crap, aren't they?
Yeah, in recent years. I mean, back in the day, they certainly had a lot more excitement. All Japan seemed to do them really well with their tag championship, their triple count. Well, not the triple count, but you know what I mean, the tag the carnival thing they had every December. Was it December that they had that then? I think so. I think it was December that they had the All-League Tag Championship. I think so. All right, I'll stop.
Okay. Final team then, Roppongi 3K, who I think had a really good tournament, put on some really cracking main events, good matches with LIJ from the opening night. I thought that was excellent. And they had a really good match with Super 69 on Friday night in the main event. And just generally excellent stuff from Sho and Yo. Again, I'm going to give them 9 out of 10 as well.
I'm in high 8s, 9s, we'll say. And to me, they were a highlight of the tour. And they're put in a position to do well and hopefully do something at the Dome. Again, our predictions being to open it up. And then that would be 2 in a row for them, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to just quickly before we finish go back to my chart because I forgot about the chart. So looking at the score so far. So Kushida has a score of half a point, and Chris Sabin has a score of minus half a point, which I think pretty much reflects their position in this tournament. Taguchi, 1 point. ACH minus 2.5 points, so he's taken all the falls for that team, and Taguchi, so ACH took all 3 falls, and Taguchi picked up all 3 wins. Volador minus 1.5, Soberano minus 4.5. So Soberano is the whipping boy of this tag league, so he has eaten 5 pinfalls in this thing. And Volador has been quote-unquote protected from that. Sho and Yo both sitting at 1.5 points. So it's quite interesting that the way that they have spread out those wins amongst them. So you don't have one person getting all the pinfalls, because I know in recent memory Sho has been the one who's been singled out for a push, but here Yo has picked up 2 pinfalls as well. So, or is it 3 pinfalls? Am I looking at this right? I don't know. And Ishimori's got 1 point. Eagles have got -1. So Ishimori picked up 2 wins for his team. Eagles got the submission win on the first day, but then 3 pinfalls after that. And Bushi and Shingo, Bushi's got 1 point. Shingo has got 3.5 points. So Shingo would be out in front with Desperado were it not for Bushi getting that pinfall when they did their Rebellion team move. So Bushi got the pinfall in the match before the previous match. So some interesting takeaways there about who's getting pushed. So you look at Desperado and Shingo as guys clearly getting a push, and also guys getting protected. So interesting stuff there from the Super Junior Tag League, which we can wrap a bow on and move on to looking at the Power Struggle card. So this will be Saturday, November the 3rd at 5 o'clock in Osaka in the Edion Arena. And matches announced so far. We've got Taichi against Hiroki Goto. We're both picking Taichi, yeah?
I'm rooting Taichi, and I'm hoping for over 5, right? I'm hoping for, over 4. If it's over, let's put it this way. If this match is
Can
over
you imagine
5, I'll go
6
naked.
stars.
I'll go naked. I'll do a naked cartwheel. I'll do a naked cartwheel on my front lawn. And you can videotape it and put it wherever you want.
Top rope Ganso bombs from Taichi.
But I think the ceiling is 4. So, again, I hope it is. I am worried, but rooting interests are 100% behind your Lord and Savior, Taichi.
We've got the Rev Pro British Heavyweight Championship match, Ishii against Suzuki. I think Ishii retains that. I don't think they're going to keep flip-flopping with that belt and hot potatoing it.
Yeah, I'll go with a successful title defense as well. It seems like Ishii goes... it seems like Ishii's the Rev Pro guy to me, right? Even though Suzuki has been there many times as well. So, I'll say a successful title defense.
Do you think he'll defend that at Wrestle Kingdom?
That's a good question. No. I mean, you look at that card, right? There's a lot of people that have to be squeezed into that. I don't know how you got room for another fucking singles match. It's going to be a lot. I'm going to say no, unfortunately.
Okay, and IWGP Intercontinental Championship, Chris Jericho against Evil.
Well, if they don't get food poisoning on the cruise,
stay clear of icebergs.
That's right. So safe navigation. Hopefully everything works out okay there. We'll see Chris Jericho in a New Japan Pro Wrestling ring, kids, with an Intercontinental title, and fingers crossed we'll see Evil win. I don't think we will, though. Unfortunately, I think we see a successful title defense from Chris, which leads to Christopher and Naito at the top.
And then the next match, Tetsuya Naito against Zack Sabre Jr. So presumably Naito gets his win here because Zack Sabre Jr. already has 2 wins over Naito this year from the New Japan Cup and the G1. So I don't think he's getting a third one. This is going to build up a bit of heat, as they say, for Naito to go on and challenge Jericho for the belt at the Dome. Right?
Yep, I would think that would be the case. So there's a name that we haven't mentioned, and where do we see this guy come out of the or into Wrestle Kingdom?
I'm still hoping we get Suzuki and Zack winning the World Tag League. I think that would be really cool.
That would be fucking rad, wouldn't it? I'd like that. And then we see them against GOD. Maybe a tag title change. Ooh, all right. My pants are fucking dropping. All right. So there you go. There's that.
We got Hiroshi Tanahashi and David Finlay against Golden Lovers, Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. And the added story to this being that Finlay will be having a singles match with Kenny Omega at one of these US shows. I can't remember what it is. It's like Lions something or other. But little caveat to that match.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we know who's taking a fall there.
Yeah. Sorry, David.
Right. Really no surprise there. Yeah. Okay. All right. But it should be a good match, though. I think it'd be really good. All right. So far, so good. I like this card a lot. But
we've got a tag match, Kazuchika Okada and Beretta against Jay White and Bad Luck Fale. So are you with me? Do you think Beretta is turning on Okada here and joining the Bullet Club?
You think he's the mole?
Yeah.
Interesting. I think Beretta's taking the fall, right?
A bad luck
fall. Not taking the fall here, right? Yeah. I'm gonna say no turn. I'm gonna say no mole as of yet. I think that might be held off to maybe like a dash, possibly. But I think our boy super heavyweight Trent Beretta takes the fall here.
From Jay White?
No, I'm going to say it's from Fale, because Fale could use a win, right? He could use a win. I'll say it's the Bad Luck Fall that did it.
All right, and the Super Junior Tag League final. So I think we're going to get the 3-way triple threat, and I think Roppongi 3K will win. Probably pinning, I don't know, it's either going to be Bushi or Kanemaru, one of those two.
I'm going to go Kanemaru.
Yeah.
I mean, he takes the fall for every fucking, every title loss, right? Is him. Every major match, it's him.
Keeps LIJ looking strong.
And that'll lead. Yep, keeps LIJ looking strong, and it gives Roppongi a win going into the Dome against the champs. A pinfall. Yeah, I can see that happening. Sure, that's what I'll go with.
I'm excited for this show. I think it's going to be good.
This is a good show on paper. This should really deliver. I'm excited for it too. Here's the thing. We needed something like this. We need something like this to talk about, to divert our attention to the nonsense that's going on, the direction that unfortunately, listen, we have our feelings, right? But I shared another one, a name that we all know, and I won't mention the name, but it's a name that every listener to this show knows who has expressed concern of the direction, right? So again, it's not just us. It's not like we're just rambling on here. People get to us and talk to us and share with us their feelings, and sometimes it's we're sharing the feelings of a collective community along with our own opinions. So it's going to be a good show to talk about, and hopefully it delivers, and I think it will. And we'll be talking about good stuff for New Japan leading into the most wonderful time of the year, award season, right? So we've got to talk about our awards, which are right around the corner. Because really, this is the last show that we really count when it comes to the awards. We don't really count a lot from the World Tag League because we just think, anything but the finals is really going to be in contention for a match of the year, right? So this is it. This is where it is, and then we talk about award season, and then it's straight into the Dome. So it's a good time to be a New Japan fan. Hopefully, we'll have more to talk about in the weeks to come.
All right, so let's dip into some of the questions then. Discord. So Jeff says, hypothetically speaking, if New Japan did a Saudi Arabia deal a la the Fed, do you think you continue to support the company, or would that be cause to reevaluate? Personally, for me, it's not the isolated Saudi Arabia thing that sticks in the throat as much as the sort of speaking out of both sides of your mouth and pretending to be this voice of change and say, hey, look at this women's evolution thing, whilst also simultaneously doing that. Like, if it was just doing the Saudi Arabia show without, pissing in your pockets and telling you it's raining and all the propaganda and all that stuff, then that'd be one thing. But what about you, David?
This company has been this way for years. I'm shocked that people think otherwise, right? They were never going to turn down that kind of money. They were hoping that people, again, when it's convenient for them to be a pro wrestling company, they're going to be a pro wrestling company. When it's convenient for them to be an entertainment conglomerate, they'll be an entertainment conglomerate. Right now, they are hoping to be a indie pro wrestling federation that goes under the radar, and they just want to they're just hiding under their covers saying, give me the money, give me the money, give me the money, give me the money, give me the money. If New Japan did something like this and went about saying that they were there for social change, okay, let's do this. Years ago, Inoki booked a show in North Korea, right? And it was a huge event where people were made to go to this event. Now, it's not as though New Japan went on there and gave you the heavy-handed treatment of how great but trust me, Inoki positioned himself as this world leader, bringing change to the countries and through the art of pro wrestling. Let's not fool anyone on that. That happened, right? So, I still follow New Japan Pro Wrestling, right, to this day. So do I like when they do that? I certainly do not. And I think it's really questionable, right, when they do that. But here I am doing a New Japan Pro Wrestling podcast. So if that's hypocritical, that's hypocritical. I don't like the abuse of animals. I eat meat. Is that hypocritical? Yes, probably. Not probably, it is. I'm a flawed human being. I apologize. So, but that's that. Let's not say that that the WWE is the only one to do something like this. I would say New Japan has done something like this, and it's in a similar world. I can't say it's as dramatic, but it's you could put it in the same bucket. I don't think that's questionable.
And next question, what would it take for each of you to lose interest in New Japan as a product, booking only, and has Damon ever come close to stopping before?
Yes, I have. If anybody knows anything about me, I again, it's the old 11 or -1, and that's with everything in my life. So, like, I'll get really super excited about doing something, and then I won't do it for a while for whatever reason. Just something does that. Probably in the 2000s is when I kind of struggled with New Japan, and I maybe wasn't as passionate about it. I would watch shows, but it certainly wasn't a priority in my life. What would have to happen? Like something ridiculous, like I don't know, like if Lanny Poffo were made IWGP Heavyweight Champion, that might be my tapping out.
What about
point.
Cody? If Cody won the IWGP Heavyweight title,
would I be out? No, but I'd be a very loud voice disapproving of it. That's for sure. match.
Okay. Vase Collector, what was Honma's greatest match? Can be tagged. I mentioned this several times. I think you should go back and watch the 2016 World Tag League final, GBH against GOD. That was a cracking match, and I think was one of GBH's best matches as a tag team. But you got any good singles matches for Honma?
Yeah, absolutely. G1, where he was going over in the entire tournament, and he picked up that win over Ishii at Korakuen Hall. I've never been in a building that has been louder or popped bigger than that night, where Honma got that one win, that one elusive win in a great match against Ishii. And then I remember leaving Korakuen and going up to Suidobashi Station, getting the train, and he was right there. I just took a little cheeky picture, boop, not with him, but just kind of snuck it, and I tweeted it out when I had my Twitter account, and I was like, so I said something like, look at this guy after the biggest match of his life, or something like that, and he was just standing on the track talking to a young lady, as a matter of fact. I did not bother him, but yep. That match sticks out in my mind, hands down, as my favorite match and probably his best.
Teak asks, is there a more overused maneuver today than the inside-out sell of a lariat? It's completely lost its effects to me. We've seen quite a few of those in this World Tag League, and people on the wrong end of Shingo Takagi lariats.
I think when it's like if Stan Hansen hits you with that, it makes more sense than Will Ospreay hitting you with it. You know what I mean? It depends on the situation, but yeah, I would say it's a little bit played out. I could see where that person says that. Yeah, I would. I'm in the gray area with it being played out, but it could go quickly to the wrong side. Sure.
And Jared says, do you think NJPW World should try to buy the tape libraries of defunct promotions like War and FMW, like WWE has done in the US?
There's War stuff on the network. There is stuff on there. I don't know how you would get it. I don't even know who would own the rights to Wrestle and Romance. Would it be Tenru? I don't know. Should they try? No, they should try to get their own fucking shit. Really, let's start there first, and then they can get other tape libraries. But again, understand that it's weird over there. Not weird. It's different. DVDs still. I mean, you could still go into shops and buy VHS tapes of pro wrestling shows, old tapes. It's weird. It's a weird thing. People own DVD players and use DVD players, and the streaming services really just aren't really a thing. I can't say it's not a thing, but it's not as mainstream as it is here in the States. So they should work on getting their own library first, because I'm telling you right now, everyone, there is a shit ton of stuff that you haven't seen that was really great. You know, the television, the weekly television shows. Some of the best New Japan stuff that you will see was on that, and you don't have access to that on the network. Work on getting that library first, and then get these other promotions.
All right, let's dip into the Twitter questions. Jazz says, name a few non-NJPW wrestlers, US-based preferably, that you'll go out of your way to watch wrestle.
US-based? Because I was going to say Walter, Zach, but he's a New Japan guy. Listen, I'm not going to go out of my way just because I see them here every month. But Young Bucks still put on a match that's totally worth a price of admission, right? No doubt about it. Let's see here. Who else would I say would be on that list? Got to be American. That's worth the price of admission. That's not currently New Japan. Can it be other promotions?
Yeah, I could name a few names. I enjoy some of the other stuff WWE are putting out there. I think Mustafa Ali is great.
Oh God, I mean NXT. NXT. I mean, you can go down that whole fucking roster, and you're going to find somebody who. I mean, the one I miss the most, and I can turn them on every week, but is Red Dragon.
Yes, I was going to say them as well.
Bobby Fish.
And even when they switched them out for Roderick Strong, they had some cracking tag matches.
Yeah, I mean Ricochet, tremendous. I mean I'm not hand waving NXT, that's for sure. Depending upon the show, there's a big difference between a house show and a those takeover shows. There's takeovers. Listen, that's Saturday night in New York City in April. That's going to be one fucking hell of a night. Because again, New Japan selling out Madison Square Garden with the help of Ring of Honor. And again, 5 miles away at Barclays Center, you know that show is going to be fucking incredible, that TakeOver show. It's going to be a fucking hell of a night. And there's going to be people that are going to go to that New Japan show and then go wherever they can and stream that NXT show at a bar or what have you and watch that, and vice versa, right? So, no, I would not hand wave that NXT roster for anything. I mean, Adam Cole,
Keith Lee, Matt Riddle. I'm excited to see what they've got to offer.
Keith Lee, Matt Riddle. Yeah, I mean, look, that's a fucking stacked. That is a stacked lineup. That NXT roster. So no, I mean, I would go out of my way to watch all that. Yep. Let's put it this way: if that New Japan show wasn't there, I would go to that NXT show. Absolutely, I would fucking be there, no doubt.
Okay. William asked, "Do you think NJPW should do Naito versus Rush for who is the real leader of LIJ within the next year?" I don't think so. They're buddies. I want to see them teaming up every year. Fantastica Mania.
I hate to say it, but Rush means nothing except for Mexico. I mean, you bring Rush in to a Power Struggle show and fight over, like, I don't know. I can't see that being a big deal to a lot of people.
Rob says, should NJPW do more to help out its partners such as RevPro and OTT, especially when it comes to camera quality? They have these great matches put up in Worlds, and I know NJPW put up solo cam stuff too, but isn't it best for everyone to have a clear footage to show off the best? I didn't really have a problem with the camera quality for the RevPro stuff, the Suzuki Ishii stuff. Did it bother you?
No. New Japan's not paying for that, right? If you're looking for, what would be nice is if New Japan were in a position to kind of use RevPro as a feeder system, like Progress is to WWE, right? That would be nice. I think that would be, but I can't imagine, aside from maybe writing them a bigger check, I can't see New Japan like bringing over like production people or equipment or anything like that. That's on RevPro. That's not going to happen.
Okay, friend of the show, Floyd, asked, why is Cody so amazing? I'm going to give you 3 reasons, Floyd. Hot wife, great dog, and well-maintained eyebrows.
Yep. Yeah, that's 3. I'll go with adorable dog. I'll go with a work ethic beyond most, especially in the world of pro wrestling, and a very, very snappy dresser. He always looks the part of a professional athlete. Did you see him on the cruise in his little, he's in a blazer and he's got his ascot and everything. He looks sharp. So again, snappy dresser, a wonderful little pooch, and again, a hard worker, business-wise, hustle in the world of pro wrestling.
Ryan says, first trip to Japan in January for Wrestle Kingdom. What are some of the must-dos in Tokyo for a wrestling fan and for a lover of culture and food?
Okay, give him 3, Joel, because we do this a lot.
Yes.
It seems like every month we talk about
this. No, I'm going to give you one. That will be me. I'm trying to work out some stuff at the moment with my new best friend, WH Park, and I don't want to give anything away so far, but we're working on something. We're working on a little something.
Wow. Oh, look at you. Fucking wheeling dealing. Shit, I'll just stay home and jack it, for crying out loud. Thanks. I wish I could go. Fuck. Do one thing, I would say meet Joel. go to the meetup.
Buy Tanahashi scarf.
Being worked on. I would say go to Totocon. If you're a pro wrestling fan, that shop is tremendous. But get there early because everybody's going to go there and buy all the good shit early. So get there early. I would say culture thing. You got to go to temples. You got to see at least a couple temples. I would recommend Shibuya Crossing once. You got to see the mass of humanity there at the crossing and experience that. I would say as a complete tourist thing, I would say either go nightlife. You got to it depends on how old you are. Roppongi at night. That's if you like to drink and have a good time, that's a good spot. And then as a complete touristy thing, I was blown away by it, actually. I mean, it was just so weird. It was great. Robot Restaurant. It's a little pricey. but it's just fucking. You feel like you're on acid, and it's great and fun, and you just can't believe the shit that's going on in front of you, and you get a cheap ass meal that's not worth it, but and expensive drinks. But to say you did it, I think it's worth a shot.
Eric says, do you think the heavyweight title scene is a bit shallow when it comes to legit contenders? Okada, Tanahashi, Naito and Ibushi are fantastic, but aside from them, who can you actually buy winning the belt? Also, how many times do we have to see Cody in there? Yeah, it's something we've discussed before about credible challengers to that title, and I think he's got a point there.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's one of our biggest complaints, right? I mean, but in that same breath, I like the fact that not everybody gets a shot, and not everybody gets the chance to hold it. So you got to take the good with the bad. They can make anybody quickly. Let's put it that way. That's what's good about them is that when they do go in, they go in. But here's the thing: you do have your annual Fale heat up, and you do have Ishii every once in a blue moon step up, and Suzuki, and you do have other people that can step up in those. Down periods that you're taking the heat off of a Tanahashi or Okada or Omega or something like that.
Paul says, has there ever been a better mullet than Shingo's? The man is a legend. It is quite an impressive mullet. I do find myself staring at it quite a lot. And I don't know how he still manages to look cool despite having a mullet, but it just works, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's a quality mullet right there. I'm trying to think of anybody modern day that would have something along those lines.
I mean, dialing back the years, I was a big fan of Shawn Michaels when he was in the Rockers. He had a spectacular mullet.
Yeah, a wavy one too. He had a wavy one too. I mean, I still think like 1985 Bono is probably my favorite mullet of all time. You know, him at Live Aid. That's a good mullet. That's a good fucking mullet right there.
Business on top, party at the back.
So yeah, that's exactly right. So that's a good pick right there.
PK Shea says, NJPW World has been adding English commentary to older matches, which is great. Are there any older matches that you'd like to see get this treatment soon?
Here's what I would like. I would like synopsises of major angles and major storyline arches. So again, I do always go back to Riki Choshu and him feuding with Tatsumi Fujinami, right? Because again, Choshu being jealous that he was supposed to be the guy, and Tatsumi Fujinami always kind of being the second fiddle to Inoki, and that going on. I think the Maeda stuff, right? The UWF and UWFI stuff, Takada, Muda, and Hashimoto kind of defending the honor. Ogawa and Hashimoto, that feud is always interesting, and how that fell apart and how, that shoot style really evolved there. So again, like having those stories and kind of explaining those big history moments of New Japan. Maybe, and again, getting the footage might be hard, but well, I don't know. I don't know if that tournament is up there, but Hogan knocking out Inoki, legit knocking him out. Right, and how Inoki was supposed to win that title, but they had to on the spot give it to Hogan because he knocked out Inoki, he fucking knocked him out cold. He couldn't finish the match. Again, explaining stuff like that. Bringing in Vader and having that riot in Sumo Hall, where everybody was expecting Inoki and Choshu, and that match got fucked over. And Vader debuting with Saito, and again, there's so many. Interesting, CTU in the 2000s and how that group formed. So getting those kind of deeper dives would be great. Not necessarily saying the formation of Bullet Club. Okay, everybody fucking knows the formation of Bullet Club. Oh, and who doesn't know that? Getting deeper would be really interesting for, I think, new fans as well. So that's where I would
give me behind the scenes footage of Hiro Matsuda breaking Hulk Hogan's leg in that training session.
There you go. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the bullshit,
yeah. I really like the Laps Fan podcast, and every time they've got this sort of character of Hulk Hogan who's paranoid that people are constantly trying to shoot on him. Was it Halloween Havoc, some match where he fought Ultimate Warrior and Warrior started rolling towards him, and then Warrior's shooting at me, dude. He's gonna break my legs, brother.
That's a pretty good Hogan you got there. That's pretty good. You got a future in wrestling impersonation.
You get to hear my Kevin Nash impression when I'm on eggshells in a couple of weeks.
Yes. I can't wait for that. It's going to be great. All right, what other question? I got one more question. I hear the bells ringing. That means it's midnight there. It's noon here. One more question.
Frankie says, would love to see Ring Kampf, Best Friends, and Team Splux, Cobb and Angelico, especially Angelico. Mad he's never wrestled for NJPW, considering the Toriumon connection, in Tag League. Any other guest teams you'd like to see this year? Especially with a view to coming in
Killer Bees.
Killer Bees. Give me Aussie Open. I'll take Aussie Open.
I think we're... Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I could do that. I would take that. What is it? CCK, is it?
I like South Pacific Power Trip. Travis Banks and TK Cooper.
Yeah, I like them too.
They're great. And what's her name? Dahlia Black.
Yeah, I could do that. But I'm still hanging my hat. Listen, if we're bringing back Pafo, jumping Jim Brunzell, B. Brian Blair, the Killer Bees. I'm on that petition. Can we get that trending? Let's tweet New Japan. We want the Killer Bees next, please. Thank you.
Okay, so before I do all the usual plugs, Damon, any final thoughts, final words before we get on out of here?
Buy a T-shirt, please.
Buy 4 T-shirts.
Love you if you do. Buy as many as you can. They're great. They're lovely and wonderful, and new designs are up. And I haven't checked recently. Is anybody buying new design T-shirt yet, Joel? We getting people buying this or what?
I don't think so, actually. Yeah.
Really? What the fuck? Come on, people. Let's go. We need your help. So make that happen. Again, Pro Wrestling Tees /Super JK. Seems like everybody's got a Super J or a Pro Wrestling Tees store now, right? Right, Joel? Jesus Christ. So, again, support the show that you know and love, and that would be ours. Keep an ear and eye open for our appearance on Eggshells. That should be coming shortly. Chris Charlton's podcast. Wonderful job that he does. And then, again, our year-end awards right around the corner. Keep your eyes peeled for that as well. All right, I'm done. I'm tired. I still have to work, for crying out loud. I have people trying to contact me, and I've been ignoring them, so I have to pay attention to them now. All right, wrap it up, Joel.
Okay, get on the Discord. Some great chat going on there, and all good stuff run by Nicole, doing a fantastic job there. Thanks to Editor Dan. Visit his YouTube channel, 219 Films, and check out his new vodcast. Subscribe to Voices Wrestling Podcast Network. Give us a 5-snake review on iTunes and some kind words there. We'll read them out. Follow us on Twitter @TheSuperJcast. Thank you everyone for listening, and goodbye.
Tears run down from my eyes, Lord, somebody, ooh, somebody, can anybody find me, somebody to love?
Alexa, play hits from Queen.
Okay.
Somebody to love. Somebody.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.